I'm
ready.
All right. And I'm Oxie. That's how we start the episode.
Gross. Are we counting down?
Oh my God. We should count down. Holy shit, we're dumb. We haven't counted down. All right, we're doing it now. Ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where I am all for a new skill because it means I can do something else to put off getting 90 mining. Hi, I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. If this is your first time tuning into the show, welcome. We are Xpwaste. We're glad you're here. We talk about Old School RuneScape. We talk about stuff happening in the game. Talk about things we enjoy about the game, different strategies, things like that. If you're not new around here, welcome back. Like Oxie said, we're so happy you're here. Today is a great day. I just ate a bagel. With cream cheese. Oh, I have a question for you. Have you ever tried whipped cream cheese?
Like
Aerated, soft. You don't have to like
comes out of a can.
No. It's like it's in the same container that cream cheese comes in, but instead of it being like a hard cheese that you have to like work to spread, it's like aerated so that it just spreads so cleanly. I didn't know about it until my wife started buying it. And that's the only cream cheese I ever want to like put on a bagel now. It's very good.
It sounds delightful. The ease of access is what sounds so appealing to me.
Right, because why have a delicious thing be so inconvenient? That's how I feel about butter. I feel like they make aerated butter that's just like easily spreadable.
Yeah, that's the spreadable. Yeah, like spreadable butter. Yeah.
But even then,
but how real is that though, as far as butter goes? You know?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Like, yeah, not that I only
original, like in the recording booth chat. Yeah, Crayola.
Yeah,
that's what it is, and it's a wonderful thing. Anyway,
in general, though, I only care about real butter when I'm cooking. You know,
sure.
Like I
not
much prefer to have. No, we are not a margarine cook in this house. My roommate uses margarine. I do not. I am unsalted butter on my chest until I die.
Not use it.
Give me sticks of unsalted butter, none of this tub shit, none of this margarine shit, sticks of unsalted butter.
Do you make your own butter?
Chest. What do I look like, Michael?
You look like you look like somebody who would make their own butter.
Hi, my name is Oxie, and I'm secretly a 45-year-old Mennonite woman. What?
Churning your own butter. I don't know. If you have the mindset that you won't ever use anything but unsalted sticks of butter, it's not unreasonable that you wouldn't just make your own butter.
I mean, listen, if I ever get to that point where I can make my own butter, don't doubt that I just might one of these days. But unfortunately, right now, that's just not in the cards, you know?
Yeah.
That's not. I live in an apartment. I don't got room for a churn, you know?
You could play RuneScape, have you take a mason jar, put some whole milk in there, or heavy milk, heavy whipping, heavy whatever, like just milk, right? And then as you're playing RuneScape, you're just over here like shaking it, getting the butter.
I do that already,
but insert a jar, insert jar in your hand, and one hand on the mouse.
TikTok joke about a jar, you know.
Yeah. But anyway, butter aside, hi Oxie, how are you today?
Oh, I'm not too bad. I'm mining, so I'm not too great, but I'm not too bad. I'm starting to push for my base 90s goal, and it's the horrible realization of like the only skills I have left are construction, which is like 14 mil with mahogany homes or 27 mil with mahogany benches. Or the other three I have left are agility, mining, and rune crafting.
What have you done?
God.
What have you done?
Part of me is like, man, maybe I will get mega motivated and I'll just do one of these skills to 99. Though I have a sneaking suspicion that's not going to happen. Because, God, I just am not having a good time. But it's wonderful for AFK.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the only other AFK skill that I have been doing at work, Slayer, I finally finished. I finally got 99 Slayer, and
congratulations.
I wanted to kind of do it on a Jad task, but I did a Steel Dragons task because I'm like, oh, only 15 Steel Dragons is like 3k XP, like we'll be fine. And then the Jad task waves 1 to 62 is 11k, and I only had like 8k left. I'm like, damn it, I'm not gonna get 99 Slayer like in the fight caves. I want to get it on a Jad kill, you know?
Yeah.
So I had to cancel my Jad task, and then I wasted way too many points to get like a monster I wanted. And I landed on Abyssal Demons. I'm like, you know what? That feels appropriate. Abyssal Demons are good. They're a good monster for me. Like, you know, I was always really hyped to like kill Abyssal Demons for the first time. I love the whip. Like, that's fair.
Yeah.
And you have I had orphan. To pass up a superior.
Oh no.
On my way to 99. I was so mad. I had to kill one more Abyssal Demon to like get to like the XP threshold I needed for like, you know, the party, like for the fireworks to go off.
Yeah. And
a superior spawned on my like last kill. Before I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I had to pass up a greater Abyssal Demon. And then that day, I'm like, all right, y'all, 99 Slayer party tonight, 9:30-ish, roll 514 Abyssal Sire. It's going to be like a thing. Like everyone's going to watch me do this kill or laugh at me while I die. It's going to be great. I have practice. Practice is exhausting. I get home. I make some dinner with some leftover sauce I made, which let me tell you, if we want to turn this into a cooking podcast, I'll tell you guys a little bit about the sugo I made with the vegetables. My God. So I'm macking on this chicken pasta, having the time of my life on TikTok because I'm so tired and I'm so hungry from practice. It's about 10 to 10, and I get an @ notification from the Discord from Doc, and he goes, @Oxie, did I already miss it? I'm like, miss what? Oh, shit. I forgot to go to my own 99 party. I just forgot to attend it. So I like hopped in Discord and I'm like, all right, shit, guys. I'll be there in 5 minutes. So I put my apparel and shit on. And we went to Abyssal Sire, and then we just sort of danced around the fairy ring until a bunch of people showed up. Some of y'all sons of bitches, they all showed up in the mole gear, which was like,
what do you expect?
I don't even know. I don't even know why I'm surprised anymore. But so people showed up to that. It was super cool. I killed Sire. I got Cole as a drop, which sucked. I didn't get it unsired, so I didn't get any hype moments there. But
damn.
It was fun. So we got 99 Slayer, so that's checked off the list for the year. And I was really worried that 99 Slayer would be the only 99 that I couldn't get in a silly, stupid way, because as you guys know, I love silly, stupid 99s.
Yeah.
But the fact that I was late to my own party that I set a time for, like when I say late, like when I got there, people were already at Sire waiting for me for like 15 minutes.
Damn, dude.
Like, so the silly, stupid 99s continue. And I now have 99 Slayer, and now I'm working on base 90s, and I'm still going to neglect that at work because I have a virus task, and I'm going to AFK that while at work. Oh, I also completed my first solo expert this week.
Nice.
It's been 8 months since TOA came out, and I am a pretty decent PVMer, and I have only now done a solo expert mode, and I have a pretty good layout that I like. It's basically an easy 250 with Insanity. So technically it's an easy 200 with Walk the Path and Insanity, and it's really not that bad. Jesse and Immortal bullied me into turning Insanity on. They said if Insanity's not on, you're trolling. I'm like, why would I want to do Insanity? And they're like, just turn all the other bad stuff off if you do Insanity. I'm like, oh, fine. And it actually hasn't been too bad. The phase 4 Wardens is always a bit rocky because like I lose so many ticks on that final fight. I don't know how or why, but as soon as it all starts kicking off and the floor starts falling apart and I'm trying to avoid lightning, I just am losing so much DPS. I don't know why,
Panicking.
but like
I panic there too.
I don't even think I panic. Like I'm just like clicking and attacking at the wrong timing, you know? Like it's just rough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What's it called? Yeah, I do that, and yeah, it's been fun. It's made TOA enjoyable, kind of, being able to do it in a solo. But it's still a lot of like mental commitment to do a solo 300. So I'm like, we've been doing raiding a lot this weekend, and we've been kind of getting egoed and embarrassed because like we raid on our home world and a lot of other people raid on our home world. So we'll see like, such a goose has a party of 4 people. Their raid level's 360 and they're running back to back to back. Ray shows up. She's got all Jesse's gear. She's going for a Fang kit, 500. Oxy, Submediant, Doc, Tyler, Scotty, 160. We're just like,
it's a relaxed 160.
It's a chill one. We do the chill 175 with the boys. We have like a 1 in 50 chance for a purple. We're just vibing,
That's not bad.
That's all that matters. So that's been my week in RuneScape. It's actually been a pleasant week to play, which I feel like I haven't had in a while. I haven't gotten mega pissed off at anything, and I haven't been completely burnt and not wanting to play. So W's, I suppose. What about you, Michael? What you been up to?
I haven't logged in much this week. That's kind of been the story of since I maxed. Unfortunately, I had this expectation that like once I maxed, I was just going to keep going as hard as I was pre-max. But like 2023, I feel like I've played less RuneScape than I have in the last 2 years, which is it's fine. It's a healthy thing to do. Is like, you can't go at 120% all the time. It's burnout.
And 2 years is a lot longer than 4 months. So
yeah. So
such a bad joke. I'm sorry.
Get out of here. So for me, it's just been like logging in while I'm editing, which I edited last week. So I played like a fair amount. I did barb fishing for the first time in a long time over just doing like anglerfish. And I don't know, for me, like it felt like I was actually doing something because you get about a minute of just not having to look at the screen before it fills up with fish. And then you drop them all and then you repeat. So about every minute you're looking at the screen versus like at anglerfish, you could be looking away for 2 to 3 minutes. And then something that irks me so much, and if you know the mechanics of why it does this, then you can put it in the comments or tell me on Discord. When you're doing anglerfish, for no reason, you just stop fishing, but the fishing spot hasn't moved. I don't get it. And it's very annoying because it happens like I'll start fishing and then about 30 seconds later, I'll just stop fishing, but the fishing spot didn't go anywhere. I don't like it. And it turns me off from like doing anglerfish, which everybody says anglerfish is so chill. Well, like I could be like, if I go to Redwoods, for instance, like that's the comparable thing. If I go to Redwoods and I'm chopping Redwoods, I can look away for the 5 minutes and I could potentially still be chopping the whole time. So anyway, Fear in the recording booth said it's a weird timing of a new spot spawning on the same spot while the old one despawns. Why? Jagex, come on. It's such a bad mechanic.
Anglers can spawn, so
it's a bad mechanic. Tiki in the recording booth said, you're missing Karambwans? Is Karambwans more chill? I'll have to check it out. The issue
is mega. They don't move. Karambwans just
doesn't
don't
move, and you don't stop fishing them?
Well, I mean, you stop fishing them when you get a full inventory, but like they don't move.
Oh. I might have to switch to Karambwans. I'm doing it so I have stuff to cook, and I don't really want to cook Karambwans.
One tick.
Maybe if I get ultra bored, I'll just go for like a couple hours of one ticking just to see how it feels. But right now I'm at 36 million cooking XP. And that's also not where I thought I would be at this point, because the week after I maxed, I pretty much got 1 to 99 cooking. I think I got 13 million XP in one week. And I haven't I've like slowed down significantly. I'm not cooking anytime like other than when we're recording. So I'm getting like maybe 800k to a mil per week. Even if that, because I don't know, I still like cooking, still my favorite skill, but I don't think I liked it as much as I thought I did. Or I don't like it as much as I thought I would, which is fine. You know, we're humans and we change. And if you say something, it doesn't have to be what you do forever just because you said it. And that's kind of where I'm at. But
as long as the XP wasters don't start adding you about it,
please don't do that, because
then you're screwed.
There are certain moments where that's fun and that's funny, But if I literally say I don't like doing this, and then you guys like, hey Michael, how's cooking going? Like that's not funny. So
Oh.
oh.
Are you saying people adding you every day about content that you're genuinely not enjoying would be annoying? Oh God, that's crazy.
How could that be?
I hope that never happens to you, Michael.
You laugh about it. I think that's why they don't take you seriously. Anyway,
people still at me about it because like they're catching up on
I
episodes.
know.
And they'll be like, "Yo, Oxie, how's the Inferno going?" I'm like, "I don't know, dog. It's going." Next person I think that does that, I gotta hit him with the like, "Yeah, last time I went in the Inferno, I died on wave 12," which like. I have not been in the Inferno since December 31st of 2022.
Wow.
It feels so good to fucking be done.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. 'Cause you didn't make any commitments. You're like, I'm definitely going to get tasks and send it. It's not like you're like one and done.
Like I want to get tasks.
For now.
I'm just lazy and not motivated to do tasks at the moment, you know?
Yeah. You don't have to. That's the fun part about it. You don't have to.
I know. That's the beauty of it. At some point, I feel like my own personal PVM ego, I kind of have to. So I don't look like, you know, a one and done bought the cape, which like, again, I don't. If you look me up on the high scores, it doesn't indicate that I've bought the cape itself. No. But, you know, I still want more than one KC because you gotta start gambling for the pet, you know?
Ooh.
I can't gamble for the fire cape anymore. So there's no like, dopamine from doing Jad tasks.
Yeah.
So
you gotta do it. You gotta send it. But other than fishing and cooking, being AFK, I haven't been playing very much, which I may just charge up the iPad and like find something to do on my main. But also, I've been playing on the group Iron Man. I've been doing Slayer. I don't remember why we were doing Slayer. I think it was just because it makes money at certain points. I don't know. I was pushing hard for Slayer. I think, oh no, it's because TMD has the level for Black Masks, and I was trying to get to the level for Black Masks, which I'm close. But like during the day, and like when I get on at night to play RuneScape, like the group Iron Man doesn't instantly pop in my brain as an option. So then I look at RuneScape and I'm like, main account, still have a Hellhounds task. Don't want to do that. Okay, time to play Age of Mythology. It doesn't register that I could just play on my group Iron Man and probably have fun. I have to start reminding myself.
There's also the possibility you just cancel your Hellhounds task if you don't want to do it. That's the beauty of a Slayer task, is that if you just genuinely don't want to do it, I would say for every task except Hydra, just cancel it.
Or just finish it off on the little ones.
Not Hydra.
No. I'm saying if I want the task streak completion, because I'm at 774, if I just spent 2 months doing a Slayer task, I'm just gonna finish it on regular Hellhounds and get 775.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I meant like don't like Turiel skip it, just like cancel it, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. We got to start saving up Slayer points is the problem. That's the bad part about this time of year, is that like we got to start saving Slayer points for bingo, you know?
Yeah.
So like every task I've been getting, I'm like, oh, thank God I wanted to do Iron Dragons. Thank you. You know, that's so great. Oh my God, that's so, thank you, Darndale.
It's really, I mean, with a Lance or a Fang, like the chromatic dragons are not that bad.
I mean, the real joke about doing Iron Dragons is the fact that I've had them blocked for about 3 years.
Oh,
so
nice.
I think I have both Bronze and Iron Dragons blocked, because like when I was getting assigned to them frequently, I was using like Fire Blast on them. Like I wasn't prepared to kill 60 Iron Dragons in the Catacombs of Kourend while I'm getting absolutely just getting a train ran on me because it's in multi. Like I was not prepared for that. Whereas now I'll just like chuck on Prey Melee with a DFS and a Lance and just like call it good. Like it's much easier now for me to do like Steel Dragons or Brutals, but like I blocked them so long ago that I'm not even gonna bother.
I forget I feel like hold on. I'm going to go and see what's on my block list because it's dumb stuff. It's Worms, Drakes, and hold on. while I'm going to look, I will say Slayer post max is a lot different than even Slayer post 99, because I feel like it was TMD that said, "Hey, now you're 99, get ready to use way more points than you ever did before." Because like it might have been Seth, actually.
No, I think
Somebody
I think
said
it was TMD. Yeah, 'cause
TMD
it was
said
in
it?
that VC.
Okay, because basically what happens is you get a task, and it's a dumb task. You're like, I don't need this XP. I want to have fun. So then you're like, skip it. And some of like even like the dumb tasks that give good XP, you skip it. Like trolls, I can't be asked to kill trolls all the time.
I'll do it for points, because like there's a pretty good spot south of Mount Quidamortem at Chambers where you can cannon them in multi. It's actually not bad to kill them there. I think what I might start doing is I might start the turtle boosting for bingo. I might turtle boost my way up a bit.
Does turtle boosting like end your streak?
So Turiel boosting is doing 9 tasks with Turiel or Spria where you don't get any points, and then doing a 10th task with Konar or Duradel.
Gotcha.
I'm probably going to do Duradel for 10th interval tasks and do Konar for 50th and 100th interval, because like Konar Slayer sucks.
Yeah.
Konar Slayer really sucks.
Yeah.
If you don't get something you want. Konar Slayer can also suck because like I have a bad feeling that my 700th task is gonna be a Hydra task. I just feel it in my bones, because that's the type of shit this game does. It's like, you're so close to a huge point drop. Let's make you do Slayer for 4 straight weeks to get it. Like, that's how it feels. And I still enjoy Hydra a lot, but getting the pet really does kind of kill the motivation. But now I'm still hunting the green log. So I'm trying to get the green log by the end of the year. So like we will do more Hydra. And I swear to God, Michael, if I get the jar on my next task, I'm gonna scream, because then I'm never gonna want to do Hydra again for the heart. I told like the ring pieces, I thought they were 1 in 512. They're like 1 in 150.
Common.
And I'm just unlucky.
Oh, you're not getting them.
No,
Damn.
I'm not getting them at all. I've gotten a claw on the pet and like 700 kills, so like I'm not mad that like that's what I'm going dry on, but you know,
yeah,
just want the log, man.
Green log.
I will eventually, like 5 years from now, if I'm still playing this game and we're still doing this podcast, I'm gonna be clogging up my gourd. I really am, you know, because I'll have maxed, I'll have done everything I need to do in this game, and I'm just going to be hunting stupid collection log slots, because that's what I'm going for. But
I'm at 420, by the way. 420 collection log slots, and I don't know if I should just stop.
I'm at 611. I don't think you can choose to stop. Like, let's just stop doing content.
I'll just stop. I'll just quit. Like the count is done. So I have three monsters blocked. Can you guess what they are?
Worms, drakes, and spiritual creatures?
Nope. Not even spiritual creatures. I'm on a Cerberus task, my guy.
Fire giants.
Nope.
Hydras.
No. Cave Kraken. For some reason.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you hate doing Kraken.
Why do I only have 3 out of 6 blocked, though?
I only have 5 out of 6 blocked. I think I have Iron Dragons, Steel Dragons, Fire Giants, because I just genuinely hate Fire Giants. Aberrant Specters. That's another, like, left a bad taste in my mouth when I was a low level and just hated doing them.
Yeah.
And then maybe Drakes, too. Because Drakes take a long time.
Yeah, Worms and Drakes are a no-go. I probably should go. Tasks. Hold on. Do I have... I'm going to go to Other and then Slayer. Do I have the... Okay, I have the sword on the log. I need the axe... Oh, wait. Is the axe and the throne knives from Hydra specifically? Okay.
No, they can come from anything in the Carolum Slayer dungeon. Rather, any of the unique Slayer monsters in that dungeon. So Drakes, Worms, or Hydras. Wait, can they come from Drakes?
Who knows?
I think they can.
Google it.
Yeah, they can. Thrown axes and knives can come from Drakes.
Nice. So yeah, I may have to unblock them unless I just go back to Hydra for that kind of stuff. But still need the harpoon. That's easier. It's easier to get the harpoon from those guys than it is from Gardens. No, Temporos.
Close. There it is.
The other one. Brain, no wiki. But I will say Postmax has been a lot different than I thought it was going to be. I still have goals. Like I'm still doing it. It's just slower than I thought. Like I had the goal to get 15 million XP in all the skills, and I don't think that's going to happen this year. I may only get to 15 mil cooking, not 100 mil like I wanted to. But
who knows?
Once I don't know. Once I get, I think I'll just need to do some Bibles. I think I just need to do some quick Bibles, get the blood flowing again, because since I maxed, I've done 15 million wood cutting, 15 million mining, and then that's it. So 2 pretty AFK slow skills. I'm working on fishing. I'm at 14 mil cooking or fishing. I don't know. A quick one would be nice, like herb lore or crafting, something I can just knock out. Damn it, I'm already 20 mil crafting. What am I going to do, Oxie?
You know what you could do that could be really helpful, but will probably hinder the 15 mil all goal?
What?
Train the new skill that's coming to Old School RuneScape. Because at some point we have to get to main title content.
I love that transition.
That's learn from the master, baby.
I don't know. Did you guys see that fire transition?
God, that was so fun. So stupid.
Bam.
The best part about that is he said bam, and then he, no kidding, did 3 other transitions after.
Why you gotta out me like that?
He's like, I don't know which one I like best. And then he's like, we record all these transitions. At the very end, he goes, I think I'm just gonna do bam. I'm like, all right, cool, dude.
It was fun. It was downloading the fire assets was interesting. But bam, we're switching.
But yeah,
good to go.
Bam, switching. Put the explosions on. Boom. It's time to. It's time to talk about the new skill. Out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
How do you feel about the 3 that they
should
pitched?
Should we introduce them first?
I mean, this is all right. This is one of those moments where I think to myself, my brother in Christ, if you're listening to an Old School RuneScape podcast on a regular basis and you're unaware of what the skills are, you either literally just got here or you are so far under a rock that we aren't going to help you. But okay, to appease the folks who might not know at this point, we have Taming, we have Sailing, and we have Shamanism. So Taming and Sailing are both going to be utility skills like Slayer, Thieving, and Agility. And then Shamanism is going to be a gathering and production hybrid. So gathering is like fishing, wood cutting. Production is cooking, crafting, shit like that. But they have stressed that Shamanism is primarily going to work with untradeable components that you get from gathering. So it won't be a matter of the person with the most money gets the 99 first.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be, I think, unique. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts out of the gate? What are your thoughts on the 3 skills, on the new skill pitch, how they've been doing it so far?
Yeah.
I guess this is such a behemoth of a topic that I don't really know if Michael and I are sure how to approach it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many different ways we could look at it, because last week we had our episode with Radish Boy, which was an awesome episode, by the way.
Love it. Yeah, he was great.
It was one of those interviews you just like leave feeling good. Like, that was a really good episode. You know, I felt good, but I didn't have a seething headache like after we got done with Annie. Like, it was a great balance,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And Michael texts me at like 6 o'clock after we wrap up everything with recording and goes, should we push Radish Boy back a week and then record an episode tomorrow about the new skills? I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's possible.
Right.
It just feasibly wasn't. Like,
because we record on Sunday, and the blog where they announced and like gave the skill pitches was on Monday, 24
at like
hours later.
7 a.m. Eastern time. So it was like, it's just inconvenient timing for our recording schedule, but I'm kind of glad we didn't force an episode out, because that would have probably sucked. And we probably would have done the thing we always do, which is like give wrong information.
We've had time to chew on it, which is great. I don't know.
And I've done some chewing.
Oh, lots of chewing. The thing I hate most about like the news system, whether it be politics or just stories that on TV, is everybody wants to be first. They want to have the breaking story, and they just, more so recently, they just ignore facts. They could say something completely wrong, but as long as they said it, they said it first, and we don't want to take that approach, and I'm glad we didn't. That conversation was like, should we do it? No, let's just wait a week. Let's just wait to marinate on it.
Because we could have pushed out an episode, but we're like, it would have had to like be after practice, and I would have had to edit it while Michael was editing the right. It just didn't work. So we're coming to it about a week and a half late. And even so, in the 4 days between when we record and when this episode comes out, more might change. But I don't think we're at that point yet. Yeah. That said, I don't know when the blog for this goes live. Not the blog, the poll. I don't know when the poll goes live. Off the top of my head. All right. The skill pitch poll opens April 4th. So it'll open it's open 2 days ago. So today's the 6th, I think. It's going to come out. Yeah, today's the 6th. When the episode premieres, the poll's going to have gone live 2 days ago. So 2 days from now for current Michael and I, we're getting the dates all mixed up. April 4th is when the poll goes live. So I don't think a ton is going to change between then. So Michael and I kind of lucked out there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, off the dome, how have you been feeling about the 3 pitches? I don't think they've gone through a ton of iteration changes. But they have brought up some like concerns and things that players have had, which I think is super cool. Yeah. How you feeling?
I don't know. I have mixed feelings. Reading through it multiple times, like over the past week since it's come out, I think I've read through it at least 3 or 4 times. And this morning before the episode, I read it thoroughly. And it could go one of 2 ways. I could either pick one, or I could say none of these. And I feel like I would be totally fine. The one that I like...
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. There are ones that feel like they are inherently old school. And then Tiki in the recording booth said it perfectly. Taming could just be an expansion to Hunter. Like how forestry is to woodcutting. So taking Taming off the table, we're left with sailing and we're left with shamanism. Both of those feel inherently old school. Like they could fit into the game really well. But do we need them? I don't know. The problem with how they pitched it is like everything is so vague. Like I cannot conceptualize in my brain how I would train sailing. Like to me, being maxed, I have a different view on the skills simply because 2277 total, they put a new skill, they put a new skill out, and now I've lost my cape. Like it is imperative that I train 1 to 99 and do nothing else if I still want the quality of life and everything that I've worked for, right? So day 1, I'm probably going to take 2 weeks off and just train that skill. But like it's so vague to me, like the skill pitch. You're going to get XP by exploring. We don't have a reference for that, really. Like I guess herbivore at the very
not quite.
I don't know. Like I just can't conceptualize it. And then shamanism, I like shamanism. I feel like if there wasn't an option to skip.
There is an option to skip.
I'm saying if there wasn't the option to skip and there wasn't the option to say no, none of these, and we had to pick one, I'm not picking taming. And it's going to be a very, very hard choice between sailing and shamanism. I feel like I would pick shamanism. Simply because I feel like it has the most potential for longevity. Don't get me wrong. Like sailing has depth. Depth, the sea, get it? But like you could have an underwater raid. Like there's so much things that you could do with sailing, but like their focus is not the sailing acts, because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I want sailing because this is going to open up new places to go, new islands to explore." That's not the point of sailing. Like you're not going to train your sailing skill by exploring an island. That would be exploration. That's a completely different concept. Like you're training your levels by being on the boat, not being on land. So the whole idea of I want sailing as a skill, no, it should just be a core mechanic. And if you really want a skill that is linked to exploring an island, that's exploration. So to me, it's hard to conceptualize how to train it. Shamanism, very, very much, I can see myself training it. And I think shamanism has some really, really cool game mechanics. My favorite thing that they pitched is access to the spirit realm. And like one example they gave is like in the world of Gielinor, this door is locked. But in the spirit world, this door is open. How are you going to navigate between the two to figure out puzzles and things like that? Like that just opens up so much cool stuff in the way of questing, in different boss mechanics. You could have a boss that is linked to your shamanism level, and you fight one of the forms in the world of Gielinor, and then depending on your shamanism level, you're transported into the spirit realm, and you have to fight it with different mechanics, and then you get, rewards or like components that you can use to make the boss easier. There's a lot more potential, I think, with shamanism. The biggest downside to me is the name. I can't get behind the naming. Like when RuneScape first came out, I want to say that herblore was herbalism, but then they changed it to herblore. Like if they could find a new name for shamanism, I feel like let's run with it. But I don't like the name, and a lot of people don't like the name. Cultural appropriation aside, it's just a bad name. Shaman or Tiki said in the recording video. Shaman or I don't know what you would call it, but like I'm just glad I'm not on the the committee to name the skill. But like shamanism's not good, but I think it has the most potential.
Did you listen? I imagine you watched the video they gave.
So that's the only thing I didn't do this week. I wasn't able to watch any of the videos, and I wasn't able to tune into any of the Q&A. Did they address it? I wasn't able
to either, and I was mega annoyed at the Q&As because they kept doing them at 11 a.m. Eastern time on a weekday, and like I'm at work, I can't.
Yeah, that's like 6 p.m. for them though. So I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They're not going to stay up in the middle of the night. There's not a good way for them to do it, unfortunately.
No. I get it. I'm not like mad at that, but like, dog, I just want to listen to what people have to say.
Yeah.
I have to run a therapy group at that time. Like I can't like be talking to kids about feelings and then like have an AirPod in is randomly be like, so when we talk about anxiety, bullshit, Taming is a mini game. We talk about anxiety. Like that's not, I can't be doing that, So like I haven't been able to tune into the Q&A, but I did watch the like 2.5 hour video, and Husky did address the naming of like, they're aware that, oh God, I don't know if it was in that video or not, but like the shamanism name, I think he addressed it directly in saying that like, if you change the name, you change the theme. So if we stray too far from shamanism, what happens to the spirit realm? What happens to a lot of other stuff? Because these skills are very...
You could call it nature, like your nature level.
But nature, there is no spirit realm in nature. That's the problem they're facing. It's like thematically, they're struggling with that. And people are saying, there are plenty of ways to change the name to not make it appropriative.
Mm-hmm.
There are other shamans in the game. There are other spirit guides in the game. We have the nature spirit. We have the fairies. We have the lizardmen shamans. I am not... This could just be, me being a white dude about it. I don't necessarily think this is the same thing as, like, naming every single person in the desert Ali,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it's the same thing.
I have heard that brought up as an argument, and TMD made a great point, and I also agree. It was, yes, it essentially naming everybody Ali that's a cultural thing, right? It's kind of lazy, can seen as being, a no. I don't know how to put it other than people don't like it. But like in the terms of the quest, if you know the lore behind the quest, they were just trying to make a buck. And everybody changed their name willingly to Ali because, like, in the quest, you're trying to save money. It's like, if you take it in context with the quest, it makes sense. So I don't know if that's a good example.
But it's still not great.
Yeah.
It's still not great. Like, it's not... So I don't think it's quite to that level. People are understandably upset about the appropriative nature of the term shamanism. I'm just not. I personally don't know an alternative, and if someone has one that doesn't, I guess, swap the themes.
Yeah.
I
don't know. There's a lot of things you can do, and I think one thing you can do is just say, this is the name of the skill, and this is how you train it. I can't really think of another skill here that strays away from the idea of the skill. I mean, I guess the closest one would be, I guess, no, I don't have an answer, actually. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one because to me, like, I wouldn't vote for it if the name was shamanism. No, I guess that's a little harsh. I would have serious concerns if it was named shamanism. Because I don't know. It doesn't sound old school to me.
Here's my thing. As a skill name, shamanism doesn't quite have the same ring as fire making, rune crafting, hunting, crafting, fletching. It doesn't have the same kind of like ring to it,
Shamaning.
So that bit, I'm like, eh. As far as like, yeah, okay, don't at me. I know it's runecraft. Shut up. Everyone's banned from the recording booth chat today. We don't have an ism skill as like phonetically, so that's a little strange. As far as the cultural piece of shamanism goes, if we look at the progressive nature of the JMods as they developed this game, we had a Pride event. They've changed people's names. They've changed people's appearances. We have, queer, non-binary characters. We have characters of different races. Like, they are correcting the mistakes of their forefathers and making this game open and welcome to everyone. Unless it truly is just a blunder of, like, none of the JMods considered it. I feel like they wouldn't have chosen a name that is deliberately offensive without thinking it over.
Yeah.
And if they think it over for a minute and they're like, that's deliberately offensive, they don't go with it,
Yeah.
So I'm unsure about the name just because I know the name change also means a theme change, which also means a skill change, which frankly, it's my least favorite of the three skills as it is. So if we have to make some changes, that's totally fine. But
yeah. Wait, hold on. You said it's your least favorite?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're still talking about your opinion. I'm just curious to hear what you got to say.
Okay. So I guess I should address Taming. Like, it's not totally off the table as a skill for me, but it just doesn't hold, like, it doesn't seem as strong of an option when you consider its counterpart in RS3, which is summoning. People have a bad taste in their mouth with the word summoning just because of like how we grew up and around that time and what happened around that time. Like, I don't think summoning was that bad, but it was very game changing. You had different mechanics that changed and altered the game forever. Different creatures that you could summon that just made content a cakewalk. So when you think about things in that light, Taming, it kind of leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. Although they've tried to quench those the fires that have come. It's like, summoning, blah blah blah. They've tried to say, hey guys, like, this isn't summoning. I understand you don't like summoning. This isn't summoning. But I don't know. Animal companions, like, we already have pets. I've heard that as a very like strong argument against Taming, and on one hand I agree, Pets are in the game.
It's like saying we don't need best in slot armor. We have Fashionscape. Like it's.
I know. I don't subscribe to that notion that we don't need taming because pets are in the game. But it is a big thing that a lot of people are saying is like, well, my my hellhound pet is my hell puppy is now devalued because then I can just go tame a hellhound. Yes, but like pets don't do anything. They're literally they just follow you. Like they're not going to make pets an item to be used. What if you had a pet and a follower? Like there's a lot of things they could do with it. But calling back to what Tiki said earlier in the recording booth, it could just be an expansion to Hunter, which I would totally be fine with. It doesn't need to be an entire skill. We don't need Pokemon, got to catch them all, to be a skill alongside something that just could be incorporated into Hunter. At least with Shamanism and Sailing, it's not really something you can just like incorporate into another skill and and add it to it. It seems like a departure from what they were trying to do with adding a new skill in the first place. The problem with what they've offered though is like they're going completely off of like the feedback they got. So when people said animal companion, they ran with it. I don't know why so many people said they want animal companions, but they said it was an overwhelming majority of people in like the survey that they put out said, I would love an animal companion.
You're the only guy I know who's like, I don't really care about pets. Like,
I don't. They just pets as a thing to collect. A lot of people love to do it.
No, pets as like real life.
Oh.
Go get my little tricolor terrorist in the other room. Pets. The only one I've met who's like, take him or leave him. I don't really care. Everyone else is like, there's one thing I love on this earth, and it is the creature that I take care of, and I will kill everyone, including myself, to ensure that they are safe. The only one I've met who does not have that vibe about an animal.
Just being a parent, right? Like I have a human companion who's a 2-year-old monster.
Not the same thing.
You're saying that you would do anything and give anything up. You know, you give everything up to care.
Same concept.
Same concept.
Oliver is not your pet.
I understand he's not my pet, but it's this under the umbrella of taking care of something and loving something unconditionally. And as a parent, I find satisfaction and I find fulfillment in being a parent. Whereas if I wasn't a parent and it was just my wife and I probably would have a dog or I probably would have a cat. But to me, they're an inconvenience, not so much something that I choose to love and take care of. That being said, I think that taming has a place in the game, just not as a skill. It seems like a lot of fun. Like, I will not lie to you. I read through that and I'm like, I want to ride a dragon. I want to fly on the back of an eagle. You can do that in the game, but not where you want to go.
You don't really ride on the back. You just sort of like hold
on the legs
and pray to God you don't fall.
No, I want a black dragon. I want to tame a hydra. Like there's some cool concepts within taming that I think has a lot of validity. People could have fun doing it, but it just seems like the weakest of the three options. I've already kind of talked about sailing, but again, to me, sailing, I just can't conceptualize how you would train it. And to me, like that's the most important thing when I'm reading. Like my brain goes to how am I going to train this skill, not what can I get from this skill? Because ultimately, it's just going to be a means to an end. Yes, I will enjoy the benefits of what it has to offer, but I'm not stopping at 80 sailing and chilling there for like 6 months to a year. I'm going 1 to 99 and that's all I'm doing. It's a means to an end. So for me, I don't know. I may have a skewed view and I may have to like shift it a little bit and say, okay, well, what would this skill look like on my group Ironman? What would this skill look like if I created a new account? But right now, max brain is taken over. I'm like 1 to 99, not stopping. I need max XP rates per hour. This has to be easy to train. So from the non-max player, I want to hear your thoughts. It is your turn to talk.
My man said, skill good. We need a new skill. Stop complaining as max players. and then followed it up months later when they released the skill with, I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new skill. You've become the very thing you swore to destroy. Your exact words were, I could either vote for them or I could not have them in the game. Either way, I don't really feel like it matters. I just find that bit, I just find a little funny. I got a bit of a kick when you're like, I don't really care. I'm like, there's no way this man has supported it so much. Suddenly now is like,
hold on.
It could be a mini game. I don't really give a shit.
So to further expand on that thought, because I feel like I said it and then moved on. I could vote yes to any of them, but I could also say not this batch, because if we say no to these and enough people say not this batch, they go back to the drawing board. They put out another survey and they get us a new batch of skills to like conceptualize, to think about, to vote on. That's why I said I could not vote for them and be perfectly fine, because I know that at the end of the day, it is a yes from them. Like, we voted yes for them to make a new skill. So like they'll go back and they'll rethink about some options and present a new one. Not that I could say, like, I voted yes to a new skill. So I'm not saying I don't want a new skill in the game. I'm fine being max. I think that's how you took it, but that's not what I'm saying. I want a new skill, but I'm not hard pressed on any of these options to say, yes, we have to have shamanism. I could live without any of them, but I still want a new skill.
So my follow-up point for not only Michael, but also everyone listening who has a similar sentiment: what do you want in a new skill? Not something you answer right now, but something you consider. Something you maybe put forward after the fact, just in case none of these pass. What do you really want in a new skill? Really consider it. What new thing could come into the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tiki in the recording booth chat said, to bitch. And I feel like that sums up this argument so much. So I like two of these skills, and frankly the reason I think I like shamanism the least is because it's just not clicking in my head. Like, something about shamanism doesn't click. I'll get to it, but I need to make a point for taming. I need to stand in defense of taming. For all of y'all in the recording booth chat and on Reddit and on Twitter and whatever who's like, taming is to hunter what forestry is to woodcutting. Can anyone name me the only creature in Hunter that you do not kill when you catch it, or kill after you catch it?
Chinchompa.
Salamanders.
Oh,
salamanders are the only creature you catch but do not kill. Chinchompas you catch and kill later when you throw them at something. Almost every single other creature is murdered on the spot.
Look at all the people in the recording view chat just like annihilating your point.
Imps, fair. Okay, annihilating my point. Yeah.
Herbivore.
You get the resources from them. What do you do with herbivore? You rip the plants off of its back.
The things and it runs away. Like, you harvest it.
Yeah, okay. You're not harvesting the creatures in taming. People say, oh, it's the same thing as it is to hunter. There's no way you said maniacal monkeys, Tiki. You crush them with a stone. And you rip their tails off, my guy.
Oxie is clearly no skiller. Thank you, Saminian. Somebody had to say it.
SMH, there's no way the man with 1600 total level is flaming me in my own recording booth chat right now. That's neither here nor there, though. I think the argument taming is to forestry as hunter is to woodcut, or whatever the argument is, I don't think that holds up very well, because it's not, right? You're not catching and releasing 500,000 red dragons in order to get your taming from 90 to 99. You're taming one, and you're, as they have said, leveling it up, right?
I want to be the very best. No one ever was.
How many hours do you have in a Pokemon game?
Over 100.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm saying, right? There is more that goes into taming than just capturing animals and making them your own, right? Everyone in this game has a very personal connection to a lot of the pieces to it, right? Everyone has items or stacks of items or memories or skills or certain bosses they like and don't like that are all the same for everyone else. It's the argument, there are many like it, but this one is mine, right? That's what taming brings to the game. Well, everybody has wolves, but this wolf is mine. I tamed this wolf myself. Everyone has the hell puppy pet, but I got this one on this KC after doing this for this bingo. Like, oh my god, it's a super cool story behind it, right? You know, everyone has the same thing, but it's the personal element that you get. So they've talked about a lot of different avenues for taming. So I watched the 2 hour, like 2.5 hour, like skill video they put in, right? And they pretty much said that, like, with taming, they are talking about maybe like a potential skill tree. Like, let's say you have we'll use a wolf as an example. You have a wolf that sniffs out loot and a wolf that guards you from other things, right? Mm-hmm. You can spec into other things, so not every wolf can do the same thing. So maybe you have to tame multiple and raise multiple, right? Have a little pack, you know? Maybe you keep the followers in your bank. Maybe they use the example of, you know, the falcon in Piscatoris, mm-hmm. where you do the kebbit hunting. Maybe it's something like that, where you tame an animal in a specific region, and then it stays there for a little while, right? I think the argument that taming is just a hunter expansion doesn't really hold any weight, because it is the exact opposite. You tame something through whatever method, whether it is, you know, giving it food, like it's food motivated, like they suggested a sheep might be. Maybe it is you help them hunt down and track and kill prey. Maybe that's how they like you. Maybe you earn their trust by doing something silly, you know? Maybe you have to throw a banana at a zookeeper in order to get a monkey to like you, you know? Just like stuff like that. You get these things to earn your trust, right? Submedian said, and I'm calling him out by name because I know how much he loves it, Oxie, the moment he finds out people can take tame pets into the inferno. Taming sucks. No one should have it. The elephant in the room with taming, why people are so upset, is because it's just like summoning, except it's not. The problem with summoning that people have with Old School RuneScape isn't that they don't like summoning. A lot of people liked it when it came out, because it offered a lot of cool new stuff. It offered pets and things like that we never had before other than kittens. Like, it was super cool when it first came out. But you're right, it did drastically alter gameplay. People, myself included, don't like summoning as a concept for OSRS because the content we have doesn't adapt well to summoning, which is the issue in taming. It is, how do these creatures work in combat, if they work in combat at all? Because you mean to tell me an adult black dragon that is now my counterpart is only going to hit a 4 because it can't do a too much more DPS than a thrall? Just doesn't seem right, you know? How do we balance that properly? Do we allow it in combat at all? Because a lot of creatures also have utility features that go along with them, you know? They made the suggestion of a grizzly bear that is a really efficient fisherman, you know? Maybe the grizzly bear stands in the lake and catches a new kind of fish that is either used to tame something else or is used to make a resource or who knows what, because players can't access that, only their bears can. And their bears will come back when they have a certain amount of fish or whatever. You know, I think taming, the combat question in taming is very hard, because what do you do with it? Do you allow these creatures to attack things? Do you just have them idly sit there? You know, like, I can't imagine having a wolf pack that just sits there in T poses while I'm, you know, doing Slayer. Like, that doesn't seem appropriate. Combat question is the biggest one that they're going to have to overcome with taming, but I don't think it's anything like Hunter. I don't think it is a Hunter expansion. I don't think it has legs to stand on, if that's the argument. I think you tame creatures, you raise them yourself, they help you do whatever you need to, whether it's access new areas, access new resources for skills, train skills more efficiently, which is also a concern, because the JMods brought up the point of, like, suddenly the most efficient way to train fishing is to train taming. Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't think anyone really wants that, you know? So, like, that right there is a little tough to navigate as well. I don't think it is perfect. It was initially my favorite because I just think it's awesome. I love animals. I love taming. This has so much fun potential to, care for and have these like permanent creatures that like once you get them, they're yours, right? I love that. Something about that is just, it made me really happy. I don't think it's my number one favorite anymore because while in my heart of hearts, it's still the one I want the most. I don't think it's going to hold up in the community. People in the recording booth chat are currently having a heated argument that I haven't had time to read about taming versus shamanism versus whatever. Haven't had time to read it, probably not going to because I'm doing the recording. But I don't think it's going to pass because I think it's very contested because of this. I'm going to use the term incorrect because in my opinion it is. I would imagine in the opinion of the J mods it is as well. Incorrect misconception or incorrect idea that forestry and taming are the exact same things. They are skill expansions and not skills themselves. So while I don't think the argument is valid, I also don't think taming is going to pass because of those types of sentiments. Well, I think the larger issues that exist among taming, how do we use this in combat? How do we use this in other skills? I think those may also hinder taming as a whole because I'm not going to deny it. I have said summoning as it is in RS3 is not appropriate for OSRS because it dramatically alters content. Summoning specifically. I think a part of that, we have to accept that this entire game is going to be dramatically altered once this new skill comes out, whether we like it or not. Mm-hmm. We voted for this. The game is changing dramatically. Don't use my 2007 nostalgia REEE to try to fight it because it's coming.
Yeah.
Right. I think taming needs a lot of work and it needs a lot of explanation in order for the players to be on board with it. So while it is my like personal favorite, and I think it is awesome, I don't think it's going to pass. Sailing kind of fucks. Sailing seems fun as hell, right? You mentioned you gave me this look of like, you've got to be kidding me. They said, how do you train, right? We'll pull up the little infograph they hear. We don't like the idea of giving you XP for navigating around aimlessly. You don't train agility by walking, right?
Yeah.
They have talked about activities that give you skilling XP, kind of like, I would imagine, kind of like a farming contract, maybe, where like you do it, you grow the thing, and you get the, instead of a seed pack, you get an XP boost or something like that. Not like a boosted XP percent, but like you get XP for completing tasks. Maybe you get
temple
XP
checking.
Because
they mentioned like you could be a merchant. You could take supplies from point A to point B, and then once you get there,
Yeah, but like maybe there's like a task list you can choose from to complete. So here they have deep sea fishing, hunting sea creatures, delivering packages, uncovering new islands. They also have passive XP, which is like record things in a captain log or deal with like random encounters, I think sailing has a lot of potential for good XP. It's not going to be construction XP per hour. Whatever new skill they bring in, if I were a betting man, is probably going to peak at 50 to 80k an hour. There's no way they introduce a new fire making. There's no way they introduce a new construction.
But why not?
Because they're just not going to.
I think the notion that like saying, well, they haven't done it for the slow skills. They haven't boosted the XP for the slow skills, so they're not going to do it for a new skill is kind of narrow-minded in the sense that like they're only not boosting XP for the slow skills because people complain. They're like, this devalues my 99 rune crafting if you make rune crafting super easy.
The J mods have admitted that the Wintertot XP rates were a mistake, but they're thrilled it was fire making and not something else because nobody gives a shit about fire making. The reason why people train it now is to go to Wintertot, right? The fastest XP for construction is the most boring training method in the game, which is what they're trying to prevent with sailing, right?
Right.
It's not just going to be shipbuilding over and over again. The fast XP you get from something like Herblore is just, that's the other problem. It's boring. Sometimes, slow XP is all, I'm literally mining and I want to pull my teeth out because it is just God, it's so slow.
I will say this would be my only ask for some sort of XP is that it scales with your level. Because the thing that pisses me off the most is that most of the skills in the game were designed with the mindset that no one's going to train this past 75, 80, whatever. The Gower brothers never expected somebody to get 99 in a skill. They said that's impossible. So they didn't scale it appropriately. What they should do is say, at level 75, you're making this XP rate. At level 90, you're making this XP rate. And it's comparable to what you are doing in the level that you're at. I'm not saying that at 90, you should just be getting a mil XP per hour, but like taking into account that you have 1.2 million XP from 98 to 99, and that it's 1.2 million XP from 1 to 75. Like, come on, like, yes, 40K an hour makes sense getting to 75, but 40K an hour does not make sense from 98 to 99. And I think that's a fatal flaw of this game and how the XP scales, because it doesn't scale. In most cases, you're barb fishing from like, I don't know, 70 to 99, 35 to 90, however you unlock it, 15 to 99. I think you unlock it at 35.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like some of the best fishing XP in the game. It's like 3-tick barb fishing. So to me, it's annoying. And I wouldn't say that we need absolutely cracked 900K XP per hour sweaty methods for training a new skill, but I also want it to make sense for the level that you're at and the activities that you're doing. I'll let you finish. I just wanted to kind of say that before I forgot about it.
So, yes, when the skills were originally released, there wasn't a big push for people to get 99. Guardians of the Rift came out in 2022, and it does scale with XP, and still only caps out at about 60, 70K per hour, because it doesn't beat Lavas. Hollowed Sepulcher, let's look it up. I want to say it's like 90K an hour. OSRS, Hollowed Sepulcher at 91. I'm not 100% sure. Let me see if I can pull it up and find it. Let's see. So, experience rates, realistic XP per hour at 92 is about 80K. If you don't loot, it's about 90K. And that's brand new content when people are very much anticipating getting 99s. You know, Herbivore scales with your level.
I love how Herbivore scales. I freaking love it too.
Herbivore is what? Maybe 150K at the absolute max.
At max, you going from 80 to 99. It's a reasonable scale. It doesn't stay at the same rates that you were at 80. It doesn't blow it out of the water. I'm not saying you're getting mad XP rates once you hit 95, but like it makes sense and it scales as you go up. If they had a model similar to how Herbivore scales, I would love it. And that's a great example of something that they could do.
I mean, I'm just, let's see. It is the experience rates at level 80 are somewhere between 115 and 128, only increasing as hunter level increases. Considerably lower number will be caught per hour if not using stamina pots. So it doesn't really give like an accurate XP per hour. It does say, though, that starting at 80, they're 1950. Getting to 99, they're 2461. The XP rates per hour don't change too dramatically. So are you telling me the argument of, well, it's 120K per hour at 80, but it's 132 at 95? Is that big of a difference?
It just feels like
when it scales differently?
Yes. The fact that it does scale is what I'm saying. Because it feels pretty crappy to start a skill, like start doing an activity at 80 with the understanding that you're going to be doing this until 99, and nothing about how you're doing it changes. Okay, so I guess the best example of like, okay, if you start in the real world, if you started woodworking today, say you're level 1 IRL woodworking and you're making a chair, the first chair you make is probably not going to be that good. You'll be able to sit on it. It's not going to be that good. It's not going to look pretty. Fast forward 5 years, you're making the same chair. It's essentially the same thing, but your skill has increased. And so now you can make a chair faster, you can make it more sturdy, you can make it prettier. All of these things about making a chair exactly the same as when you first started, but now 5 years later, you are a more efficient chair maker. So like when you start a skill at 80 and you're supposed to be like training a skill, you're supposed to be getting better at hunter to have the same XP rates and all of that going from level 80 to 99 just feels counterintuitive to training a skill and saying, I'm getting better at hunter. You're just training it for the XP at that point.
Okay. If we're using the real world as an example, right? When you start woodworking, do you start building chairs or do you start doing stuff that's a little bit simpler? I don't actually know. I don't do woodworking. Let's say a chair is the most simple example you can make. You make a chair. After 5 years, are you trying to make the exact same chair? Or are you trying to push yourself to improve and do things that are a little bit better that you might not be as good at? I fence. I've been fencing for a long time. I don't do the quote-unquote low XP per hour drills that beginners do, because I know how to do that shit. I can do it very efficiently with saber and foil and all sorts of stuff, right? I push myself to work on new, more challenging things. That is the point, in my opinion, of improving a skill, is to learn how to do new things. Yes, I might be really efficient at attacking or at lunging, and I might have really solid footwork that still occasionally you revisit, right? You will make that old chair every now and again. You're never going to abandon it forever. But in order to improve, you have to challenge yourself.
Right.
So
maybe that's the argument, is they just need more variety. Maybe that's the argument then. Like, we just, instead of 80 to 99, you have the option to do herbivore. And we're using herbivore as an example because, one, it's a repeatable thing that trains the skill and it scales at this point. But like, what if from 80 to 90 you had the herbivore, and then 90 to 95 you had something else? There are things in the game that have that. You're not going to do
Hunter
the same
itself
training method.
Needs an expansion, but for sailing specifically,
I just worry there's not enough to get you.
Dog, it's a pitch. We don't know anything about what some of the tasks are. It's a vague pitch. The game needs a year of engine work before the skill even comes out. The potential for what we have to be able to do in sailing is why it's so appealing to me, because I don't know how we'll train it. All I need is you complete various tasks, you get experience for them. We already have a skill like that in the game, and it is almost unanimously the community's favorite. So I don't see how that's a bad thing, especially if we don't know, right? I think that method of getting XP is good because it keeps you on your toes. It prevents you from doing the same thing over and over again. With Slayer, you kill a monster and you gain XP. At its base level, you do the exact same thing for every single Slayer task you get, from 1 to 99. But you and I both know, everyone listening knows, that Slayer does not feel like just going and killing the same thing over and over again. Slayer has a lot of variety. Maybe for a sailing task, you have your main ship that you use. You have a cargo ship, right? And you have a delivery task that you have to complete. So you got to use your cargo ship, and that's like your best setup. That's your, infernal cape of ships, because your cargo is the best one. But now you get, you have to go help fishermen. So you have to take your fishing boat out, which is kind of like your range setup. You got to switch things out a little bit, get on a different ship, bring different materials with you. And it still works pretty well. And then maybe you have to fend off pirates from a trade route. Maybe people aren't recruiting you to do the trade. They're recruiting you to protect the trade ships. So you have to get on, your brigadier or your warship. That's like your mage, where it's high level, but it's poor and still wears arms and not ancestral, because it just keeps getting more expensive when you get close to being able to buy it. But, right? You have to change ships. It's the same thing with Slayer. I don't take the same things to kill Hydra that I do to kill Zulrah. I don't take the same things to kill Vyres that I do to kill steel dragons, right? Or abyssal demons or black demons or whatever they are. The task approach for like the active gameplay for sailing, I think has huge potential, especially if we're allowed to have more than one boat, right? I think the idea of having one boat to flex accomplishments and being able to do everything is also a really cool concept, kind of building off of Taming with that, like, there are many like it, but this one is mine kind of thing. I like that concept. I also really like the idea of having a fleet, Grand Admiral Oxie of the seas of Gielinor. Like, that's super cool. I really like. Did you change your hat
Just now?
or have you been wearing that same color the entire time?
No, it's been the same color.
Oh my! For some reason, I thought you said you were wearing maroon. So I'm like, did this make your hat change mid-episode?
This is the one I was gonna wear, but then I
went
with this one.
But no, I mean, they also mentioned that like navigating is a core mechanic and doesn't necessarily award XP. I think some pieces can award XP. So like you mentioned exploration is not the skill, so it shouldn't award consistent XP. I agree. Exploring and finding islands should not be the best way to train the skill. But much like the Varrock Museum is not an efficient way to train Slayer, it gives you a little bit of Slayer XP. So I think it would be neat if every time you came across a new island or a new atoll or you discovered a new sea creature for your, like, your sailing log. Could you imagine how people would get so wet over the idea of a sailing collection log where you have to like find different creatures and islands and shit? And you get a little bit of XP once you discover them, Like, you discovered the atoll off Tutorial Island. Here's 75 XP. You discovered the Megalodon, the dinosaur of the seas, according to some. Here's 2,500 XP, right? So it's not a crazy amount of XP per hour. It's just like a little lamp, a little treat for finding something new, I think the training for sailing has a lot of super cool gameplay mechanic elements of it. A lot of cool training bits that just could be fun, and the amount of new content that we could get from this, holy shit, I am excited. You can build and customize your own ship. We got the potential to have new fishing and new hunting and expansions to areas that are already underwater. Maybe you do diving to find deep sea treasure. There's new Slayer monsters that come from this. There's new bosses that come from this. There's, like they said, the potential of an underwater raid. There's the potential of clue scrolls out at sea. There is the potential of, and just picture it, Michael, how sick it would be, PvP marine combat. How awesome would that be if you could engage in PvP at a certain, maybe like the waters north of the wilderness, there's like a dock where you can get on your ship and fight other players in this, like, rather turbulent, sea or whatever, where the water is kind of like murkier and dark and there's waves and shit everywhere, and you have to like fire cannons at people, or you like ram them with the front of your ship, and then you get whatever cargo is like on their ship or at their port or whatever. So there's still a risk and reward element to PvP. I have no idea how that would work, but I just think it would be so cool to be able to like kill each other on boats. Like, that would be super cool, Maybe you board another person's ship and then you have a PvP fight right there. You claw spec the captain of a brigadier ship and you're like, this is mine now, who knows? I think it's got a lot of really cool potential for the activities that come with sailing. So frankly, I think sailing has moved up to my number one favorite. And that's primarily because, again, I don't think Taming is going to pass, which is kind of sad. But I don't think the community's got the gall to get behind Taming,
Yeah.
And I understand that, and I'm not going to be super mad if Taming doesn't pass. So I think sailing is my number one. Like, I'll probably put sailing as my number one wanted skill. But I know deep down that, like, Taming would be so cool. That comes to shamanism, which I just don't know if I get it. I like it. It's a cool concept. I just don't know if I fully get it, and I'm fully on board with it because I don't get it. Like, you forage materials, you get to the spirit realm on disturbed sites, you create ritual circles, and then you get components to upgrade gear? Question mark?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I think a part of me is turned off to the idea. This is why I'm super torn about shamanism, because part of me is like, gathering skills are pretty chill. Sometimes they're boring as shit. Sometimes they're universally loved, like woodcutting, right? The production aspect of it makes me a little because if all the components or a majority of the components are untradeable, like, what is one thing I hate more than anything in this game, Michael?
Iron Man.
Iron Man mode. So,
somebody said it's like, why would I want Herblore 2 for Iron Man? It's basically how it is.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of worries me, that Herblore 2 aspect, you know, where if the components aren't tradable, how fun is it going to be? I don't know, because obviously they haven't pitched like how they would do some of these things. But it just kind of, you know, they even say like, this is our wild card pitch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It offers utility as a reward instead of utility as a way to train it. So I think of the three, this skill has the most that needs to be done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. I'm not in love with the idea of the spirit realm and the item augmentations, but that doesn't mean I don't like them at all. You know, I just, like I said, I don't think I get it. I don't think I get the appeal right now to be like, oh yeah, shamanism is my number one. Unfortunately, I have a fear that shamanism is going to be the one that passes, and I'm going to be hella disappointed if that's the case. But who knows? Maybe it could be a great skill. I just like the spirit world, cooling concept. What do you do differently? And I think that's a matter of not knowing, because it's a vague skill pitch. Do you gather the resources in the overworld, or do you gather them in the spirit world? Can you make them in the overworld? Do they have to be made in the spirit world? Can you do both? Like, it's just a lot of questions I have about the skill that have yet to be answered, which, again, they will be answered with time. Item augmentations, I'm really only, my only really like pin I'll put in item augmentations. What do you do about tradable augmentations? Mm-hmm. Are the augmentations themselves tradable? Are they reversible? Is it a matter of, like, I was having this conversation with Immortal in the CC one day of like, imagine you want to do a T-bow rebuild, but you've augmented all of your melee gear and all of your mage gear, and now it's just all untradable. So you don't have a 1.5 bill bank, you have a 200 mil bank, because everything you have is untradable, right? So like, but on the flippity flip, is augmented Torva gonna be 6 bill? If it's tradable? Like, how expensive are these augmentations gonna be? Are they gonna be like, is it something like, to make these augmentations you need like to make anti-venom plus or whatever, the big anti-venom that takes like 90 something herb lore, you need like an anti-poison and some Zora scales and coconut milk, or like whatever bullshit ingredients you need. Super combat potions 95, you need 3 4-dose potions and a Torstal.
90?
It doesn't take that much to get them, right?
90 herb lore.
Is it 90 or is it 95? What's 95 herb lore?
Not super combat.
95. There is no 95 herb lore. Oh, well.
Maybe no.
Anti-venom plus is anti-venom and Torstal, but like, even like extended super anti-fire is at 98. All you need is just lava scales and a super anti-fire, you know?
And a
like, it's
end
just
game quest, but
well, yeah. But that's my question. Like, are these augmentations gonna be mega accessible? Are they gonna be like the saturated heart where you need 150,000 of one component to make? Is it gonna be like a jar drop where, you know, or like a mega rare drop from something where like it's a 1 in 2K chance to get like, you know, the Tribune Torva augmentation from something that makes your Torva stronger, you know? Like that's a question I have about the augmentations. How do you get them? Are they tradable? Do they make gear untradeable? Do they degrade? Does it cause a problem for players in the like mid game tier who now can never get out of it? Are we doing what Reagan did to the middle class and just like making it impossible to now get to this upper echelon? Because even when you get Missouri Ancestral Torva, it's not even the best because you can't afford 2 build per piece to upgrade all of it to its maximum potential.
I would assume, like,
you know,
if Torva, like if the augmentation is available and tradable, then you would just train Shamanism to get to it. It's not like because you're thinking about it as a way of saying you have to do this really hard content. We'll take Nex. If Torva was untradeable and you had to kill Nex to get it, it's pretty inaccessible for mid gamers. But like if you had Bandos and all you needed was like 80 Shamanism or 70 Shamanism, and then your Bandos is a little bit better, that's where you cater to the mid game, because it should scale with gear. Like you could make your Mystics a little bit better by augmenting it. You could make your arms a little bit better by augmenting it.
But that just leads to my question of how do we get these augmentations?
Yeah,
like we make them ourselves, but like how feasible are they to make? Again, these are questions we don't have the answers to.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like I love it, I hate it, blah blah blah. I think it needs a little bit more work. You know, like I think the concept itself is cool.
Yeah.
I need a little bit more explanation because truly I just don't understand shamanism.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I like it the least, but I don't hate it. I don't want it to be the skill that gets added. Don't take it like nothing personal, kid. I just don't find it very interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Compared to the other two. That's just kind of where I sit with shamanism, you know?
It's kind of funny because like I don't really understand sailing, but you're all for it. And then you don't understand shamanism. I'm like, yeah, shamanism's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not against it. I won't be like rage quit angry if they add shamanism to the game. I'll be hella disappointed we got passed up for sailing and taming for Iron Man mode. But you know, I suppose there's potential in all of it.
Sure. So we can agree that taming is kind of like the middle choice for both of us, though.
Yeah, I think, again, I would love if taming could be my first choice. I just genuinely don't think taming has a chance. I think the ways they've pitched it are super cool, and the people who like taming, like myself, really like taming. I think a bulk of the RuneScape community is not really going to like taming.
You mentioned...
I don't think...
No, go ahead.
I just don't... I love the RuneScape community. I just don't have a whole lot of faith that they're going to support it in the same way that I am. And that's fine. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, do their own thing. I just don't think taming is going to pass like I would like it to.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Earlier you mentioned taming is to hunter as forestry is to woodcutting. That's not true. My thought about it is like forestry is an expansion to woodcutting in the sense that like the main thing is the events and the gear and the things you get from it. So like in it of itself, forestry, the expansion, has nothing to do with woodcutting, but it adds to it. Right. So
but you would cut to get forestry events and get forestry perks. You don't hunt to tame animals.
But you could get hunting XP from it though. Like you could get hunter XP for taming something. You could get the hunter XP for being like using them.
Being a forester, like let's say you work for the DNR, being a forester and cutting down trees kind of fall within the same route. You kind of have to do it, right? So woodcutting and forestry makes sense. If I'm going to the local pet store I'm not going with a deer blind and a 12 gauge.
Listen though, like
to hunt
like
the things I'm like, you don't
like Labradors,
it's
Labrador retrievers, golden retrievers. Those are used like those are hunting dogs. Like you use them in relation to the skill of hunting.
I'm not saying taming can't have overlap with hunter. No. I think taming and hunter have a lot of potential to have really cool overlap.
But it would be something that expands hunter past what your current viewpoint of what hunter is.
But it expands everything. It doesn't just expand hunter, because my current viewpoint is the broad one. If taming is a new skill, how does it expand all these other skills? What new areas, what new items, what new perks do we get from having these creatures being able to help us? You know, everyone's worried about pets. The game's gonna have to go through hella engine work regardless of what skill gets passed. You think they're gonna do a Spirit Realm copy of Gielinor and not have to shut this bitch down for a year to be able to get that done? They're trying to retexture the ocean and make it pathable with a new pathing system. Taming, if you have an animal that's like following you, like, you know, my Hydra pet versus an animal that's patrolling around you or an animal that's playing in the trees, like we need a lot of work on this game in order, no matter what skill happens, right? You know, so there's like that piece of it.
And I guess I see what you mean, because like
it just,
if you find a black dragon, I'll use this as an example. If you find a black dragon and you then want to use it to help you complete a raid, and nowhere in that does it make sense that you would get hunter XP for it. But that's kind of like, that's a singular track on a multi-track field of saying, well, if you have a black dragon, then you're using this black dragon in the hunter skill to do something else other than combat. Like you would have to probably take combat out of it. You could have a...
But what if combat's tertiary? What if you train this dragon and this dragon is like, all right, fam, you're never going to believe this. I found, I don't know. What's another color that we don't have? I found purple dragons.
Yeah.
And I know where the mountain is, so I could fly you there. So at 95 taming, you get access to this purple dragon boss because your dragon took you there. The dragon's not helping you kill it, because it's not, again, the functionality of taming in combat is gonna be a really touchy subject, because where's the line? How much does it help? Does it dramatically alter the raid if you bring a dragon in with you? You know, like how does that, like,
I don't care where the line is, quite frankly. I don't care that, like, okay, I'll say it delicately. If taming allowed a change in combat mechanics, I'm all for it, because the game has to evolve. There are certain pieces of content that I think...
Dun.
I think certain pieces of content...
He said combat needs to evolve, boys. Let's do this.
Confirmed.
Damn it, Michael. This is how we got here in the first place.
The game needs to... People in the recording for chat are just going.
They're ripping him up, dude.
Fear said, poor choice of words. So, to finish my thought, then we can move on. There are certain aspects of the game where I think it wouldn't make sense thematically to allow it. You could just say, whatever follower you have doesn't want to jump off the cliff to get into the Inferno, so you're gonna have to leave it behind. Like the same. Like, I don't know why you can't bring a pet into Corp, but you can't. Why you can't, I don't know. But it's a game mechanic. So they could do that same thing where it's like, you can't pass this barrier with a follower. You can't pass this barrier with a tamed pet. And it just, those are rules and restrictions that they've put in. So.
Yeah, I just think it still requires discussion, because... Frankly, I think you can't take a pet into Corp or a pet into Jad, because they didn't render those instances to have pets. And it's just like, they're like excuse to be able to be like,
weird.
Oh, yeah,
like,
it just doesn't work.
What if you get the pet while you're at Corp? Then the Corp pet is in there.
Maybe Corp is a matter of like, they don't know how to, not that they don't know, but like at the time they released it, they didn't make the core render over a pet or something like that. Like it's probably just something
or you could
something
like
just
rag it.
silly. And maybe it's something just like silly like that, you know, where like a pet blocks the core, so you could have a pet block. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I think no matter what, it needs to be discussed. Maybe it's a combat utility and not a direct combat buff. Like thralls are a combat buff. They increase damage per second. Maybe you tame a giant frog south of Lumbridge, and it acts as a cannon in places you can't put a cannon without dealing a whole lot of damage, if damage at all. Maybe it just rotates and goes ribbit, 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 and sticks its tongue out.
Now we have to collect flies,
like,
so it just like
enemies.
shoots flies out of its mouth.
I mean, maybe it's like Tiki says, why a frog? Because I couldn't think of anything else, Tiki. It could be literally anything. That's the beauty of taming, right? Like maybe the combat utility isn't so much that it helps you directly in combat. Maybe you have, again, playing off the game that taming is probably the biggest in that I play is Arc. In one of the newest expansions, they did, not really an expansion, it's a free DLC. They have a tame called the Fjord Hawk, where when you die, the Fjord Hawk will bring your bag of shit that you left behind, all your items, back to you when you respawn. So maybe that's what a function of an animal is. There's a Fjord Hawk that brings your gravestone directly to you. Or maybe there's a Fjord Hawk style creature that takes one of a specific item to your bank and comes right back. But it can only take one type of item at a time, and it takes time for it to get back. So maybe at like 97 taming,
and you have to add like a little perch to the bank, or else it won't work.
Yeah, you unlock like a Korend Falcon that will take back one kind of item from a non-instanced area. So like it wouldn't work at Vorkath. You have to leave the instance, right? But it couldn't bring things back from a bank. But like imagine what that could look like, you know? Mm-hmm. Maybe you're at KBD, which isn't instanced, and it takes back all of the dragon bones for you and but it can only take the dragon bones. It can't take everything. Mm-hmm. And it has a cooldown. So let's say you send it out, it's going to take 2 minutes for it to get back. So you can't just like constantly resupply and get things out of your inventory. And it's not super efficient to do everywhere. Like, what would this hawk do you at God Wars? Because you have to juggle your inventory anyway, you know? Because you have too many supplies at God Wars. Like, it can't, the creature wouldn't bring you things, because that's a bit cracked, right? Unless it's like a level 99 perk, you know? That's a bit cracked.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you would be rewarded. You should be rewarded. I feel like
I don't hate it as a 99 perk.
Most of the things you get at 99 are lackluster.
Yeah.
The best one is construction.
I don't know, man. The demonic throne's pretty sick.
Well, the construction cape is the most useful aspect of this whole game. But I don't know. To me, it seems tedious. And if I wanted to have taming, I would just boot up the Neopet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of utility that can come from taming that we literally could be just endless, you know? So I think with the biggest question being combat, I don't think it necessarily has to be a damage boost. I think it would be cool if it could be for some creatures. I think maybe a defense boost for some creatures could be cool as well. Yeah. I don't really want to pack.
I don't think a blanket, this is the new thrall, makes sense. I don't think it does. Like,
no, I think
because if you think in
it could
combat
work for
trial,
like 1 or 2 creatures,
right? But if you think in combat triangle, what if you tamed a water fiend to then go fight fire fiends or whatever? You know what I mean? Just an example of this thing is the adversary, this thing is the predator to this. So then you go and tame that thing to then fight this other thing. But a blanket, like
I think
I have a black dragon and it's going to own everything. Well, black dragons, they're not good at everything. You know, if you're a tiny little muskrat, probably can get away from black dragon by just scurrying
just
around.
Hide behind a rock.
Yeah.
Fine, you know?
So it's not like it's good at everything. Which I think people are very worried about because they see summoning mechanics where, you know, you have one thing and it's good at everything. They probably won't do that. Hopefully they won't do that.
Yeah, I don't think they would. And the only thing I'm really like, I don't want this specific thing from summoning is a pack yak. Just because, I don't know. I feel like that's the only thing that I will say would alter combat in a way that I'm not a big fan of. you know, unless they made the pack yak like 98 or something like that, like stupid high. I don't play RS3. I don't actually know, right?
Tiki said from summoning Yeah, he's saying he doesn't want.
So one thing I don't want
pulled from summoning into taming.
But I think the damage aspect of creatures from summoning could work. And you mentioned the combat triangle. I think that could have cool effects on both, like, you know, we're doing different styles of combat. So like, you know, let's say you tame a bear. Bears attack with melee. In theory, bears would be really good against animals that range because bears have thick hides and things like that. Let's say, what's a magical creature that you could tame? Who knows? Maybe a dragon is like the one in the gauntlet where the dragon is mage.
Mm-hmm.
So a dragon is really effective against soldiers or like anything that uses melee because the fire melts it, but they're really weak to range. You know?
Yeah.
I don't personally think the companions should be able to be killed. I think they should have to go and rest and leave. Kind of like how Pokemon faint and you can't use them. But I don't like the idea of putting 50 hours into a dragon just for it to die because I AFK'd a virus task. Like, I don't want to do that, you know? Yeah. So yeah. I think that's a matter of, like, you know, just stuff that I think it's got combat potential. It needs extensive discussion,
yeah.
I think.
And I don't think people are ready to have that discussion. Because they see
I'm ready to have it.
They just see it's Pokemon. They're like, we don't need Pokemon in RuneScape. That's kind of the end-all be-all conversation.
And that's why I'm worried Taming's not going to pass. And that really, it does make me kind of sad that if that's why Taming doesn't pass because we're not ready for Pokemon, that's a huge wasted opportunity, if you ask me. You know, but I think if Taming does pass, we got to be really vocal and I don't want to say critical, but like really, really like willing to have conversations about what this will do specifically for combat. Because I don't think anyone's going to argue about you tamed a shark and now it can take you to a new hunter or a new farming area underwater. Nobody gives a shit about that. It is the combat element that's going to bother people. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the conversation that has to be had for taming specifically. A lot of conversation need to be had about a lot of these skills.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm worried that they're okay. So I've heard a lot of comments specifically about sailing, that sailing's just a meme. Why did they propose it? And I'm worried that is going to drive down the numbers for sailing as well. When in reality, although I have personally stated I don't get it, I think you're right, Oxie. I think it has probably, I wouldn't say it has the most potential because I do think shamanism has a lot to offer, but it has near enough content that it could be its own skill. My only worry is like, do you pigeonhole yourself when you say sailing? Yes, because like not everything attached to the skill is going to be on your boat or related to the act of navigation. So then is it worth it? In the same like vein that shamanism taking away the name limits it.
Water.
I think that if you change the name,
we'll just call it wetness. That's the name of it.
No, in all seriousness, I think if you change the name sailing to exploration or navigation or something along those lines, you could expand sailing to be something absolutely massive. But like sailing is just something somebody thought of in 2014. But
are you exploring? If you're doing a trade route, are you exploring?
No.
If you're battling pirates, are you navigating?
No.
I think you can navigate, battle pirates, explore, and trade under the guise of sailing.
So Tiki just brought up that it was originally an April Fool's joke in 2014, and that's why that's the point I'm getting to. Is it's like this was brought up as a joke. Somebody saw that, and then I don't know if it was Gentle Tractor. Somebody on Reddit basically took the concept of sailing and said, "Wait a second, wait, huh? We've got legs to stand on," and then they pitched to full skill. So it goes back and forth in people's minds of this was a joke, but this is an actual, like, we've got something here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think sailing,
I think-
I don't know, does it limit it? It could. Because you could have like multiple things that, like, you could have multiple skills from just that one concept of you were piloting a ship and you're going back and forth. It could be, you could have a merchant skill. You could have a merchant skill where you own a vessel and you go back and forth, but then you also own a shop and you make money from it. We've talked about that in a fun question before. There's a lot. And I think sailing kind of limits it if you don't want to stray too far from the original concept. Because if you think about sailing, like most ships nowadays don't have sails. And most ships that you're talking about wouldn't have sails, in the sense that if you're commanding a war vessel, or like, you're probably going to figure out how to either row it or you have a motor. But I don't know if that fits old school. If your ship suddenly had a motor where it ran off of like magic or something, I don't know. But sailing is the act of sailing a ship. Whereas, did you just post a Google link?
I did, because I couldn't find a picture I like. I posted the Google image links to the Royal Navy Man o' War.
Huh.
Which is a warship used in a time before they had engines. Just like in this game, that was a warship that had, and you'll never believe this, a lot of goddamn sails.
I see.
I think, I think, yes, if we're the modernity argument of anything that we're doing is just not good, because, like, why do I need exploration or sailing when I have an iPhone in game? You know, like, why do I need to kill this boss 1,000 times when I can just buy this item off Amazon? Like, I don't think that element fully stands up, as far as like modern elements go. I'm having the opposite problem of you. I can't think of a name that better suits sailing than sailing, because I think sailing is the most encompassing name that you can think of, unless you generally call it like water ability, which, because, like, yes, it's not all sailing. If you're farming corals like they suggest, if you're fishing for deep sea fish, if you're hunting an aquatic slayer monster, you're right, you're not physically doing the act of sailing for all of it.
And how would you get XP in sailing? By deep sea fishing, or finding an island.
But the fishing isn't what gives you the XP. It's completing the fishing job.
Yeah. Okay.
It's catching how many types of fish and bringing them back to port and completing the job that gets you the XP. It's not deep sea fish this, kill this. It is, we have this problem in the water because there are too many, sea serpents. Kill the sea serpents. Come back to us when they're all dead, and then we'll give you a reward. Like, that's the training of sailing, from what I'm gathering from this, which I think is a lot more fun. Like, you have to do things on your ship or with your ship to train sailing that isn't just like aimlessly poddle about the water and try to figure out what is what,
using like the WASD keys to just turn left, turn right, turn left, go straight.
And
I don't know. I'm thinking too much about it as whatever Enlightened Journey, where you like pilot that. That is so bad.
They mentioned Bon Voyage as the sailing that we have
that's
in the
terrible.
game.
I hate
Bon
that.
Voyage is just the
and like fishing trawler
mechanic in the world.
That's also terrible. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
but
they said that, like, they're legitimately discussing like new pathing mechanics. They're talking about making the ocean into playable tiles, not just like copied seascape or whatever. Tiki brought up a point of like, how are any of these skills going to work on mobile? Like, there's just a lot that goes into it. Goes back to the engine work we talked about. All of these skills need so much engine work.
Yeah.
I like sailing the best. I think it has the most potential. As much as I just love taming. The only potential I think Taming lacks is the potential to pass the poll, which makes me really sad to say out loud.
Is it a wasted
Taming
vote?
Is cool as shit.
Is it a wasted vote then? Because you can vote for Taming. Nothing is stopping you from voting for Taming on 2 accounts.
That's the thing.
3 accounts, actually.
Multiple choice. After reading the new skill pitch blog, which concepts for a new skill in Old School RuneScape would you be happy to see refined further? I'm going to vote for Sailing and Taming for those two. Which new skill pitch is your favorite?
Your singular option. Right.
We're going to spin the chamber and see what it
Flip a
lands
coin?
on, because I don't know. I mean, I might vote for Sailing and Taming on each of my accounts. I might vote Sailing on the main and Taming on the groupie, because like it's so hard to choose, because genuinely I like both of the skill pitches, but I just really don't think Taming's going to pass. I really don't, and that just makes me big sad. And I feel like a lot of people I've talked to in the community do not give a shit about Taming enough to like push it forward for
consider it. Yeah.
That said, that I guess kind of leads into another piece of some of these skill conversations. We might not be done here.
Right.
They mention in the disclaimer that like, is this Old School RuneScape's first and only new skill? And it's not an all or nothing vote. There's no reason they can't put more skills in the game in the future. I think the rigmarole to do that is it's the community polling system problem that I think is going to be an issue with adding new skills in the future, because like they released farming, hunter, and summoning and construction within like 3 years of each other. You know, like those all came out really quick. Granted, summoning did not have a very clean launch, but like that shit came out quick. We're probably, if I were a betting man, are not looking at a new skill launch until Q3 or Q4 of 2024.
Yeah.
Like we're probably not even going to get a beta this year for the new skill.
I would argue that we could probably get a beta if like, because they don't have a super long timeline planned out for stages 4, 5, and 6. It's all TBD. But if they have enough to where they can give us a pitch, I'm sure they have enough to where they can throw it together, the basic concept, and then refine it from there. It may be like late this year, early next year, but it could happen.
It could. I just know that it's like, it just seems really unlikely that we get anything close to like a playable beta within the year, you know? Yeah. And that's not because the J mods aren't capable of it. Why is it? Because why won't we be able to do it?
Voting.
Because the community won't be able to agree on a goddamn thing. Like, I don't know.
Bitching should be the new skill. That's what everybody's good at that.
Genuinely, dude. We're
bitching
so
level 99.
Yeah,
complaining.
We're all bitching 99, frankly. I don't know. Again, I'm optimistic we're gonna get some cool stuff. I think I just know it's gonna be a really long time. So the idea of like there could be more skills in the future. It's like, dog, what? Like, all right, Old School RuneScape second skill releasing on Oxie's 40th birthday. Like, what, dog? That's the one bit where I'm like, please just be game devs and make it and tell us about it and we'll like it and it'll be fine. But like, I know people will be upset about that. So,
but what if Shamanism came out with nobody's consent and you've actively said multiple times that you would be disappointed? That like other people's sentiment are true for the other two. People would be actively disappointed if Taming came out.
I'm not saying I wouldn't be disappointed. Frankly, I think if they released any of these skills, just like jammed them into the game, bite the pillow, no voting, you know, here's sailing, I still would be shook. You know,
like if we woke up and
because
now
I think
the oceans aren't flat blue and it's like wave mechanics and.
Yeah, there's a lot of new shit I have to learn about. Yeah. You know, I think like that
your
itself,
Maxscape is gone. You didn't have it. You were not prepared before.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like I think them forcing something into the game isn't going to work. And I think community consultation is important. I think community consultation is too goddamn long.
Oh.
For enjoying getting a new skill. And I think that's where I'm struggling with, like, we could have a new skill in the future. Like, yeah, just like, you know, just like we're getting a Raids 3 5 years after, or Raids 4 or whatever, or Raids 2, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like June of 2018 to August of 22 that like it took to kind of refine and develop the new one. Whereas Chambers was, it was like 2016 into 2018, I think.
Well, I also think that there was significant like lore building that needed to happen. They weren't just going to put a new quest in the desert willy-nilly. Like they had to build the story for it to make sense.
There was the minor problem of, you know, this one funky little flu thing that happened in 2020 that kind of derailed the entire world for a year and a half.
Yes.
So I will say, like, 2020 was such a shitty year for content releases too, because it was like
21 was the worst.
What do we get in? What do we get in 2020? We got like, was it Nightmare? I think it was. We got Nightmare in 2020. Nothing. The blowpipe nerf. And then also nothing until like Temporos in 2021. Like,
yeah,
it was just such a shitty time for updates that I think it's also kind of skewing how long some of this stuff is going to take. Cause like they're like done with some of like all the new QOL shit that they're adding to the game.
Yeah.
Like, they're done adding all that. I think, you know, they're doing a lot better with releases. And I think we as older players have this weird like response to like new content when 3 more years, like probably not, you know.
Right. It could happen very quickly because they're motivated to do it too. Like they really want this.
I think a lot of players do too, you know. Max brains aside, I think a lot of players really do want new content to do, because like I love this game. This shit gets boring after a while, dog. Like, I need some variety, some spice of life. And I think Husky brought it up in one of the Q&A videos that, like, a big problem with RuneScape nowadays is it's completely solved.
Yeah.
From touching down in Tutorial Island to doing a sub 50-minute no pillar inferno, literally down to the exact game tick, it is solved. And there is something beautiful about exploring a game as a clueless noob that every single person listening to this show probably hasn't had in a long time. There are probably still some folks out there who are like, what do you mean the strange old lockpick exists for barrows? That's super cool. A majority of folks I know who listen to the show, there's no more sense of wonder because it's all figured out for you. You know, I don't know. I just love the idea of like, that's why we like to do quests on day one with no guide, because we like that sense of, you know, shock and awe. We don't like to read ahead and like figure everything out unless a puzzle is too hard to complete. Then we turn quest helper on because we're bitches. Because like there is no way I would have been able to do Song of the Elves day of release. I would still be in the library trying to figure out Song of the Elves on day of release. Like, it just wouldn't have happened. So I think a new skill, no matter what it is going to add so much of that wonder back. And I think that's why the community is also mostly really pushing for it, because even if people don't recognize in the moment that, like, man, what made this game special I haven't felt in a really long time, because I've had a max cape since 2019, you know? Like, why we all fell in love with this game is we got to do new cool shit.
Oh, yeah.
And there's not any new cool shit to do.
That's why the mid-game is amazing.
There's not any new cool shit to do. So I think having a skill and like even kind of like being there to watch people do it, you know, like I'm not going to be the first person to get 99 at any of these new skills. I'm not going to be the person to figure out all the cool little weird Easter eggs they put in. Like, I wasn't the first person to think of talking to the bank camel with a camulet on at TOA. I wasn't the first person to do that, but like, damn, that was pretty cool. And like bullshit, you can do that. So I put the camulet on. I talked to the camel. And it's like, holy shit, there's like actual dialogue here. Like there's, then we solved the Uwu mask puzzle. Like there's a lot of cool stuff that we can do when things are new and exciting, and not every inch of the content is polled and you know exactly what is coming. Which has been a problem with the poll system as well. So I think everyone is excited for a new skill. Most people are, I would suppose. But
yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
the great thing about a new skill is they don't have to poll every single aspect of it. So there is going to be potentially a massive amount of content that is literally just, hey, figure this out. We're not going to have a full 1 to 99 guide for a while. Because people won't be 99 and figure out the most meta things to do for a while. And that's going to give a good refresh, I think. But eventually, the pessimist in me says, but that's going to wear off. It's not going to be for a while, though.
Well, it's going to wear off. Like, it wears off with all cool new things. Muspa was really cool day of release. It was fun. It was money-making. It was new mechanics you've never seen before. You have to smite the boss. That's cool as hell. I have like 107 Muspa kills because I just don't care,
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's not going to stick and it's not going to be super fun. But, the reality of a new skill is to progress your account, you're going to have to train it.
True.
So,
True.
I don't know. I think that's there's going to be goods and bads that come along with it. I think as long as the skill is fun to do, which is another reason why I'm pushing for sailing, because the training seems like the most fun. I feel like if you combine woodcutting and herb lore and made everything untradeable, like kind of what I'm getting from shamanism, it just seems like a really, really fucking bad way to train a skill. That's probably one of my biggest turnoffs. Is I just don't like the way shamanism is proposed to be trained.
Yeah. So I think this could be a good place to wrap it all up. Whatever happens in the end, I think there will be a group that loves it. There'll be a group that's kind of like meh, and then there'll be hopefully a smaller group of people who are like REEE. And whatever choice, shamanism, sailing, taming, whatever choice you put on top, that is the outcome, which kind of sucks, but it's life, I'm hoping whatever happens, a majority of people like it. There'll be a small group of like men, and even smaller groups like REEE. So it can only be good from here. And if there is a small group, if the larger group that says REEE to all three is like it's like a big part of the community, then they just clear the slate and they start over. That is an outcome potential. It's like Doctor Strange looking at 14 million different ways that this could go down. That is one of the 14 million, is that none of these pass and we get a new one. Like we get a new batch. So we could be having the same conversation for a new batch in about 6 months. We don't know. Who really knows?
Here's my challenge to those of you who listen to this show. Don't read new content. Don't do it. No, this isn't me saying this isn't me saying vote for what I want.
No,
you could love shamanism. You're welcome to have your wrong opinions, but you could love shamanism all you like.
Stop it. Don't do that. We're not the content creators who push our opinion.
But I mean, in a way, we
I
are.
will never tell you how to vote
like
on a poll. I will never tell you that you cannot vote for something because I think it's dumb. That is literal.
Don't vote no on meaningless quality of life polls because you don't
within
like
reason.
Like, don't do that.
Obviously, but like I've seen people say, like I'm going to steer my community to do this. I don't think you should, like, if you have a platform, use it to give your opinion, and that's it.
I mean, in a way, by giving our opinion on our platform, we are steering people towards a vote.
Right,
we're steering people towards shamanism, sailing, or taming. But my challenge is for those of you who are out there reading the new skill, because I don't know how they're much different than mini games. Broaden your expectations for what these skills could be. Broaden your expectations. Perch the max brain and think, all right, maybe I can enjoy the game again in a way that I haven't genuinely been able to enjoy it in literal fucking years. You know, don't, you know, what's the term? Shoehorn, cornhole, yourself,
Pigeonhole.
whatever the term is. Pigeonhole, that's the term. Don't pigeonhole yourself into thinking this is only going to be one thing with one way to train and I'm not gonna like it. Broaden your expectations, read the polls, talk to other people. Maybe all these skills can be mini games. Fuck it. Maybe they are all mini games that are just expanding into skills. What are they going to look like as skills? Even if they're mini games, what could they look like as skills? Fuck it. Just play with it for a minute. Let them cook, as it were.
Let it simmer just a little bit.
Just broaden the expectations. Don't get so hyper focused because, like Bodhi said, he didn't like Taming, and then you hate it, right? Yeah. Don't do that. Don't like Taming because I said I like Taming. Don't do that. Really do your research. Really broaden it, and try not to REEE.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing I have is try not to REEE new skill.
That's the title of this episode.
Dog, do you think we should name it REEE new skill?
REEE new skill. We already do all caps. No, that would give the wrong message.
That really would give them, because like we're so on board for a new skill. At least one of us is, Mr. You know, well, do we actually need it? You know,
I'm telling you, I have a valid point, and you can't tell me otherwise.
You do have a valid point, but like
my valid point is that like
Remax.
These are no my valid, and I've said restate this just for the record. These three are not the only options we have. And that's the point I was trying to drive home is it's like, if you're really not happy with any of them, just vote to say, I'm not happy with any of them. Don't think you have to vote for one because this is what is being offered.
If you really don't like any of them,
that is your opinion to have.
This is going to be me directly influencing my audience.
Don't do it.
If you don't like any of them, think of a newer, better idea before you say no. That is my challenge / threat. If you're going to say all these ideas are terrible, you better have something in your back pocket that's better. Because we're all going, if the block of the community that doesn't like any of the skills, if they win, right? We have to wait another 6 months, which means we don't get a skill beta until August of 2024 at the earliest. And then we don't get the new skill beta refinements until December of that year. And then the Winter Summit 2024 rolls around. And then they announce, oh my God, the new skill's coming in July of 2025. And then it gets delayed. So now it's September of 2025 and the new skill comes out. But wait, we want people to enjoy the new skill. So we have to delay League 6. Oh my God. I just want to play the goddamn game. If you are going to say all these skills are terrible, we need something else, you better have a good back pocket suggestion to bring forth. Because I don't like it because I don't want this. Shut up. Get out of here. Go play RS3. I'm sorry.
That's
don't
very rude. It's an actual
criticize
opinion.
Something.
Well, okay. They're just saying I don't like what you've said. It doesn't mean they need to be game devs. If somebody says I don't like sailing, taming, or shamanism, their job is suddenly not now to be a game dev.
I'm not saying you have to be a game dev. Give me an idea.
I don't have an idea.
What's a skill?
It's community. It's a community consultation for a reason. So, like, you think that you think that based on all however many questions that survey was, that the game devs and the JMods were only able to pick 3. They probably have like 10. So if we don't like these 3, they're going to come right back and say, here's 3 more, because they probably have a bunch of skills already on deck. It's kind of unfair to say, if you don't like it, come up with something better. Like that sounds like, I I don't like that.
Give a critique and give a direction. I think that's if that's the way Tiki said it in the recording booth chat, give a critique, give a direction.
Well, sure.
I think saying this is bad, I don't like it, with no follow-up other than this is bad, I don't like it, is like a toddler complaining that they don't like ketchup on their hot dogs. Why? I don't like it. Well, why don't you like it? I don't know. I don't like it. Like,
you don't really know what you like until you have, like, you could say these are not vibing with me, but like you don't know what you
like it until you try it. So give it a little time to try it mentally, and then you don't like it.
The trying was the blog.
Just a new thing.
The trying was the blog, and that's enough to say I don't like any of it. I don't know. It just seems like we shouldn't be telling people that their opinion doesn't matter unless they have a better opinion, which seems counterintuitive to like the community is being like given the option to have their say. Because it doesn't say I don't like these and then a little box that says now please explain, or it just says I don't like them, and you can have that opinion.
I solve problems for a living. But I don't actually solve any problems. You solve the problem, and I get you to that point. If you don't want to do any of the work to solve the problem yourself, you're never going to believe what I'm about to tell you. That problem is going to persist until you do something about it. So, if you don't like something, and there's no possible solution otherwise, I hate to break it to you, that problem's still going to be there. That's why I say, you don't like them, present something new. Because if you don't, we might not get anything. They might have 10 skill pitches that are just names on a chalkboard that they didn't do anything with. They might. We've heard a lot of good skill suggestions from people. We've heard a lot from content creators that we've talked to, content creators we've heard about discuss it on other platforms. I'm sure J-mods have had a lot of their own ideas because, again, they all play the game too. But, like, if you don't want to take action for the problem that you are facing, it is not going to change. And
what I mean, in a sense, yes, but I don't think that can be that last sentence right there. If you don't take responsibility for a problem, it's not going to change. Yes, in most things of your life, if you just don't do anything and expect it to change, it's not going to. But in the box of, in the mindset of what we're talking about, what we're actually talking about is voting saying, I don't like these, can we please have more options? That is doing something about it. Just doing nothing is skipping the question altogether, which is an option. You can skip it.
But then what happens if you don't like any of the new options they present?
Then you say no.
Or any of the new options they present. Or any of the new options they present. No, but because here's the thing. If you say no to every single 15 fucking skill pitches they give, you have a deeper problem.
Sure. But
you have something that you have not worked out. That's why I'm saying,
I will agree.
Really take a minute. And if you don't like any of these 3 skills, sit for a second. Figure out, what do I want in a new skill? What, at the fundamental level, not the broad rewards, not this, that, at the baseline level, what does Old School RuneScape need in a new skill? If the answer is they don't need a new skill, probably shouldn't have voted yes on the poll, because like 200,000 of us voted in it. So it's not like it was a small poll, right? It's the largest poll the game's ever had, I'm pretty sure. I think it beat Group Iron Man. What I'm just saying, if you don't like it, you don't identify what the game needs, you're going to continue to dislike everything, because it's really easy to nitpick, right? I'll nitpick the shit out of these skills. I can nitpick the shit out of Taming, and I like it the best, right? Figure out what the game needs. Figure out what the game really needs to benefit from. If you don't like any of these skills.
Right.
I'm just saying. There's legwork to do.
I feel, yes. Okay. Don't just blindly say, I don't like them, move on. But yes, it is important to think critically. But like, if you don't do anything with that thought, that's still okay. We're not saying if you vote no to any of these, that you then have to become the biggest activist on Reddit screaming for what you want. They're going to put out a new survey and you take the survey. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of gatekeeping around being able to vote no.
I don't know if I'd call it gatekeeping. I would call it using my platform to influence my listeners. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it gatekeeping. This is hardcore, baby. I'm charging by the hour now. We're boots on the ground CBT, baby. If you want to make a change, you got to do something.
And
that'll be $90.
Doing something is voting in the next survey or completing the next survey. I don't know. There's going to be very, very few people that this conversation actually like influences, because I don't think there's as many people that will say no, I don't like any of these, as there are people who will vote for a majority.
And I think that's perfectly fine. But I think if we have the opportunity to sway people to like one of the three, or sway people to form an opinion that would benefit the game beyond just saying, I don't like what you've presented, you know, that's going to be helpful. Because there's even people in the recording booth chat who are like, send it back. I don't want it. Like, if the salad's on top, I send it back, you know, like they're not a fan of any of these skills, right? Just expand on that opinion a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's just all I'm saying. You could, if you're gonna vote no, have an expanded opinion. That's just put the work in, baby.
Before we rip out each other's throats, is it time for a break?
I'll do more to your throat than rip it out. I don't know how to follow that statement up. Sure, yeah, I'd say it's break time.
Okay.
Still not going to be a new commercial, just because ain't nobody got time for that, guys. I'm sorry. Ain't nobody got time for that. I think this past week with the Radish Boy episode was the first time in like a month I didn't have to do the editing, and I took it just so blissfully. Yeah. Wednesday night, I did nothing when I got home, and it felt so nice. I got home at like 4:30 on Wednesday, and didn't do a goddamn thing until like 11 o'clock when I went to bed. It felt so good. But
love it.
Yeah. Break time, recycle commercial. Enjoy it. We'll be back right after this.
Are you tired of your boring old routine of constantly gathering and banking all day just to do it all again the next? Are you ready to test the strength of both your body and your mind? If so, then an opportunity of a lifetime awaits you. My name is Certification, and I represent the White Knights of Falador. We need the best and brightest recruits to help us protect not only Asgarnia, but all of Gielinor. For the bravest and boldest, a position as proselyte may be in order, thanks to a rather ridiculous loophole. One can simply join the proselyte order, assuming you're willing to risk life and limb in a very dangerous mission that will be primarily espionage and combat, and travel to dangerous locations. But what you may sacrifice will all be worth it to say you are a member of the elite proselyte unit. When you're ready to begin your life of service, honor, and dignity, venture to Falador Park and enlist in the White Knights. And all that business about permanently cutting off your penis to join is completely idiotic. The White Knights of Falador will compensate you for the magical reversal of your genitalia.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial, because I know that I sure did. You guys know what time it is. What time is it, Michael?
Patreon time.
It's Patreon time, baby, with the air horns and everything. So, first things first, no new wise old men this week, but we still appreciate your delightful support. You guys are just awesome, you know? It's so nice to have you guys around and supporting and like being in the recording booth chat and giving us like I want to say like more to work with when we record, you know? It's just, I don't know. It's fun to have you guys involved in the process as much as you are. So appreciate you guys. But on to the shout outs for the King Black Dragon tier of supporters. Look at that, Michael. My roommate got in without a single issue.
No context.
Zero
context.
On to the King Black Dragon tier of supporters. We have, in alphabetical order, thankfully, Broix70, My Dad, Hi Dad, Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, EXP Enjoyer, JM Stones, Imby Jones, Lil Drakey, the Lord Jake himself, Mark, aka iSteam, Rylithian, Satanbot666, Soggy Waffles, Seth Shep, Skooma92, Spartan Fire, Taco Ninja, the Big G Jordy, the Crayola Cram, Toast No Toast, and Tiz Talk Coots. Thank you all so much for your continued support. I just saw one of the dates that really threw me off for a second. I got a little worried. But anyways, thank you all so much for your support. I do appreciate you. I'm a little frazzled because I get the KBD wrong all the time for not putting the correct filter on. And Michael and I always have to stop and I have to redo it. But I did it correctly, even though I thought I didn't. So that's why I'm a little frazzled. But really, we do appreciate you guys. I'm kind of glad we've sorted this out for Wise Old Man and KBD. We're like the KBD folks get the shout out. Because I feel like now KBD finally is a little bit more distinguished. We've been doing it for like a couple of months, and I'm happy with how we've made the change. I hope you guys are too. So we appreciate you guys so much for your unending support for just so long for some of you. Good God. But you guys are still awesome, and we appreciate the hell out of you for it. So that is it for our Patreon shoutouts. If you would like to support as well, head over to patreon.com/xpwaste. And you can subscribe at any tier as low as $1, because that is as low as they allowed us to go. We couldn't go any lower. But we do appreciate you guys who are subscribed. And if you're interested in doing so, we would appreciate you as well. But again, it's never mandatory, but always appreciated kind of thing. Patreon.com/xpwaste, so I can, for the love of God, stop advertising the show for monetary gain. Michael, is it time to return to the community question?
Indeed. Indubitably.
Indeed it is. We haven't had a proper community question, I feel like, in forever.
And you know what? People came back with a vengeance. There are so many answers compared to last week when we had 3.
Yeah.
People really like this question, and I could tell in your eyes last week when I asked this question, you were worried. But don't be worried, because people loved it, and they answered it. Do you remember what the question was?
So just for reference, right? Just in case people weren't listening last week and they don't remember what the community question was.
Last week, we asked you guys.
What exactly did we ask you?
So,
because some of us have no memory of what was even asked.
Last week, we asked you guys, what is something you've been putting off due to lack of motivation or otherwise? Can be OSRs related or IRL related.
Oh, damn, I do remember that. You wanted to put people on blast for the procrastination on the show.
And here we are. So, starting us off, Moist Sean says, IRL related, losing weight. Up until about 3 to 4 weeks ago, I finally have a reason and motivation to lose weight. For OSRS, if I can't do something, it's just pure laziness. You can do whatever you... we're just going to blanket before we get started. I'm not going to respond to each and every one and say, you can do it. You just have to be more motivated because, like, listen, you guys know. You know you can do it. So it's not laziness. Zachary K says, life changes. I'm really good at thinking and planning, but not so good on the execution.
Hear, hear.
Josh W says, Questcape got to 98 completed and lost interest as it's difficult on mobile only. Now doing 50 to 99 cooking instead of that, and I'm already at 96. I'll hear on that one. Like, doing quests on mobile is not fun, especially the harder ones.
No, not at all.
Grooch says, learning Corrupted Gauntlet. Have a few regular gauntlets done, but I've pushed off learning the red version. Great content, just not looking forward to the learning curve and failure. Also, here. I haven't tried Corrupted Gauntlet that much yet. I think I'm at like maybe
You tried a couple
I'm
of
like
attempts.
at 10
Come on
deaths.
now.
Like that's not that many.
But you haven't done it in like 6
No,
months.
no,
I feel
I've
like.
not.
I feel like you haven't done it since before TOA came out.
No.
God, has it really been
It's been
that long?
I need to get back in the red prison. Moving on. I don't know how to say this name, but so I'm just going to try it. Mnsun Kaboon.
Msoon Kabun?
Mnsun Kaboon, yeah. Mnsun Kaboon here.
They're around. They're around.
Yeah.
They're around. They
I just
appear
don't know how to
pretty
say the name.
frequently. Fair enough.
They said streaming. I set out a goal to start streaming and learn the ins and outs of it. Really enjoying the journey, but having a little one makes it hard for the consistency. Do what you got to do, man. Do what you can do, and don't think that just because other people are doing more that you have to do more. I had to put away that thought whenever I became a father of like, I'm not doing enough just because other people are doing more. You do what you can do, and it'll figure itself out. But yes, having a little one makes things harder. Mockcat says, man, pick a number from 128. Pick a number from 1 to 28. 70 Hunter, Zulrah, Firecape, MTA, Alkroom, Barrows, Beneath Cursed Sands, Learning Raids, finishing the quest I can do, 76 and 81 Construction, Tears of Gothics. UIM hard? Question mark? Mockcat, man.
He did Fremennik Exiles.
Hell
today.
yeah, he did.
I saw it pop up.
Yeah, he did. Mima says, learning raids scary. Only top PVMers can do those. CBA learning BA for the Tyrant Cape. Could have maxed way before Blood. Don't like that. Which is only happening now because I'm being restricted out of group content until I max.
The boys have not been letting him go on raids.
They have not.
They've been making him go to Volcanic Mine, and it's the funniest thing to watch.
Oh,
Our
poor Mima.
boy Mima.
Oh man. Max G says getting my fighter torso. I could see putting that one off, but I also know that it's like an hour and a half. It's not that much. But finding a BA team, that's another thing. Okay. Sorcery says fletching. Don't know why, but it's my least favorite skill. Over 2,000 total, and it's still only sub 80. Diary step will be brutal. Other than that, you know what the wise ones say. Quote, why fletch? Exactly. David R says, Corrupted Gauntlet. And Michael, my man, you gotta drop this heron thing. You're just wrong. Herons hunt fish. Enjoy the story. Oh, end of story. Did I ask about your opinion? No, I asked about the community question. David.
My man said, I'm putting this off, and you have.
And you. Oh man.
Hell yeah, David. Keep him in his
Santher
place.
says, I'd have to say getting 80 through construction. Got to 80 and haven't had the drive to push for the last few levels for my POH. That and finally getting my first 99 ever. I always get distracted. Santher, I will tell you, once you get 83, you're going to question your life choices as to why you didn't do it sooner. Construction is the most, like, it's probably top 3 single greatest quality of lives you can have in this game. And 83 is like, just get there. Like, you will not regret it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that construction is boring and click intensive, but like, ugh, gotta do it. Oh, Mima. Mima said I had to type blood because of the character limit. Okay, that makes sense. You can call me Blood, but don't ever say it again. Elias W, aka Real Crazy. Whoa. For me, it's digital drawing. I really like to draw, and I've always dreamed about drawing my Osrs OC someday. But due to the time it takes me to finish a drawing, I've lost motivation to just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I feel that. All right, guys, that is it for the Spotify replies. Now moving on to YouTube. Jordy says, in OSRS, it's combat, slayer, and PVM, just PVM in general. I hope bingo will push me forward and that I will learn to do TOA and God Wars. IRL, I lack the motivation to fix my sleep schedule and lose the extra weight to start gaining muscle, but I'm taking small steps towards it. Jordy, if I draft you on my team, we will be going to TOA and God Wars. All right, man? Let's do it. Robert says, made training arena. Last step of diary that I need for the Lumbridge, and I've been putting it off for months. Oof.
Good man.
You know, RuneLight makes that a cakewalk. Not many people actually realize this.
Really does.
Like, yes, made training arena sucks, but like if you have RuneLight, just do it. It will not be that bad. I promise you. Valeric says, Slayer, I have a gargoyles task that I want to do at the Grotesques, but uni has been going hard, so my task has been waiting for months. F. Also, listening to this discussion about being able to do whatever you want while studying for exams has been an amazing motivator / pep talk. Awesome. Dudeheim says, playing the game itself. I only have a few quests left for Questscape and I'm locked on a crappy Slayer task, so I've just been grinding World of Warcraft, Dragonflight, and Overwatch 2 to distract me.
My man said, this MMO is bothering me. I'm going to play a different one.
Dudeheim, cancel the task, please. Just cancel it. Coming from somebody who just says, just cancel it. And if you can't cancel it,
Cerberus for 2 months,
just cancel it. Sonic Theory says, finishing my latest video. Sometimes I lack the drive to complete it due to the pressure I put on myself to make each video better than the last. While I understand you can't keep climbing, you have to plateau at some points and then keep going from there. Like every video can't be better than the last. Listen, I'm not a content creator therapist, but I just know from experience that's burnout therapy. Like that's burnout fuel right there. Just put out what is best at the moment. Taco says,
I am quite literally a content creator therapist in every sense of the word. That's the worst feeling in the world when you're like, I'm putting off making videos because it's not perfect, and I feel that. I don't have a solution. I just feel it. Like, let me tell you.
Taco says, I put off doing Slayer and getting my max house since I have the planks needed in the bank. Also, if you do it, Taco, it's going to be great. And finally, the mechanic says Barbarian Assault. I play 99% of the time on my phone, and rarely can I guarantee more than 30 minutes in a single setting. This is holding me back from diaries. I have never completed a full run of Barb Assault, so no fighter torso.
You must be everyone's favorite teammate. Holy.
That's rough. Not much I can say to that. It's just rough. That's rough. Anyway, that is the community question. I really want to know. Actually, first of all, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to answer that. If you did answer the community question this week. For this week's question, I want to know if you could pick a skill other than what they proposed, what would it be? If you had a skill in mind that they didn't propose, what was it? You can answer that question on the community question section on Spotify, or guaranteed 100% the pinned comment on this YouTube video.
That's a call out post for me to comment in the morning. It's probably not going to happen.
That's a reminder for Oxie to post the pinned comment. Anyway, Oxie.
He said you can't just ask people to be game devs.
Hey, we're doing it. We're doing it live, boys. We're doing it live. Anyway.
He yelled at me in the first segment for that. No way.
Oxie, it is your turn to talk. Everybody's favorite segment. Love it.
SMH, Michael. SMH. It is my turn to talk, and we're going to talk about some stuff. Starting off with the miscellaneous category of what is everyone's favorite segment? Achievement of the motherfucking week. Because it is achievement of the motherfucking week.
I have a question. Is that a phrase that you have to blur? Like, you can't, are you going to bleep that one out? Because motherfucking is just, it's one word versus the F word.
No, it gets bleeped out. Guys, Michael just got bleeped out for the first time ever. Can you guys believe that? Michael just said the F word on the podcast.
I mumbled it.
Holy shit.
I said mother.
Uh-huh. Sure, I'm gonna bleep those too, just for the laughs. So here, look, God, Michael's off the chain today, boys. God, keep it PG. Sheesh.
Come on now.
In any case, it's time for Achievement of the Week. And we're kicking things off, like I said, with the miscellaneous category. Always the smallest, but still worthy of achievements every single time. It's perfectly average size achievement thing. Envious Mud and Comrade Cabby got their quest capes this week, so congratulations to the both of you. And Riverwolf got their music cape this week. That's a good one to achieve right there, because I mean, you think about the music cape, that's so much damn content you have to either do or explore in order to get it. You know, like I feel like the Mimic or the Champions scroll are the worst for most people, but still super cool. So shifting over to the combat segment of Achievement of the Week, which is also kind of small this week. You guys were not in a very killing mood. You were in a skilling mood, but you were not in a killing mood this week. But we do have some interesting firsts. So getting their first fire cape this week, we have Lil B, Envious Mud, and Kasharoth, who is actually not in the clan or the Discord, but their friend posted their achievement for them in levels and achievements, and I just thought that was neat. So we're going to shout them out for it anyway. La Floridian and Loves to Spooge got, which again, just such a great name. Every time I see it, just such a great name. They both got their first Zulrah this week, and then who was it last night that got their easy combat diaries done?
I wasn't on last night.
I was, and for the life of me, I forgot. Somebody
you start writing these down, dude.
On Saturday, April 1st, but they didn't post it in levels.
I know, but like if you see it in the clan chat, and you want to talk about it, just write it down.
I mean, like that happened with one of the, like somebody got a 99 while we were recording, and I wrote that down, but like we were recording, so like if you got the easy combat, I want to say, was it like a Neatsies or whatever, like Neatsy, maybe like NEATSYS something. I don't know.
That is the name I know.
I think they got their easy combat diaries, but like I got I got that as well. Chris said in the recording booth chat, I completed my medium comments earlier this week, and oh shit, that is an achievement. Like he just forgot that it was an achievement. So Chris got his mediums done. We think Neatsy's got his easies done. We think. So combat achievement completions are achievements, folks. Post about them because I want to see them. And then FFS Sam, didn't he get shouted out last week for 200 mil cooking? Well, rounding out combat, he did a little neat thing. He got his first Infernal cape
hell yeah.
week, which, congratulations to you, Sam. Always just good on you,
That's
man.
what I should do. I should get 200 mil cooking and then go get my Infernal cape.
Mm-hmm.
So I can...
The FFS Sam route.
Cook in the Inferno. There's vents in there, right?
The Sam strat, as they... no, there aren't,
Damn it.
actually. There are vents in the fight caves,
My raw food only fight cave run is in the bin, boys.
Is it fight caves or is it?
I mean,
damn.
Inferno.
150 Grammy Snapdragons as a mill from Venenatis. Okay.
Wow.
Nice. It just popped in the fan chat. That's why I say that. But speaking of Venenatis having nothing to do with this next segment, it's time for the skilling portion of achievement of the week. And this is the biggest one. This is
fire transition.
Y'all. Like I said, baby, you learn it from the best. So yeah, we have a lot of skilling achievements this week. So we're just gonna kick it off. Hollow Gray got 99 fletching, and I want to say it took Hollow Gray like 6 months, and for the life of me, I don't know why, because I feel like that man has posted a fletching level like once a week for the last like year. He finally got 99 fletching. So because I think, was he the one who was like, finally it's done? Like I think he was the one who was like ecstatic. That it was done. So I'm glad he got that done. Congratulations to you. Talamorn, aka Crayola, who I don't think I've ever called, like it wasn't until recently that I realized that Crayola Cran and Talamorn were the same person. I don't know why in my head I'm like, Crayola Cran's the guy that subscribes on Patreon and talks to us while we record, and Talamorn is that name I see in the CC, but I don't think I've ever actually talked to you before. It was like last week that I was like, wait, they're the same person. So I just now figured it out. So yeah, congratulations to you, Crayola, because calling you Talamorn just still feels weird. Congratulations to you on getting 99 hit points on your GIM. Fortimus achieved 99 wood cutting and herblore. Herblore was during the show. So big GZs for that one, coming in at the last possible second. Jordy also achieved 99 fletching this week for a pretty sick cape. Relu, who's officially just changed his in-game name to Gay Raccoon 6. I love it so much. He got 99 strength this week. Hoof-Hearted achieved 99 prayer, 99 fletching, 99 smithing, 99 crafting, and 99 construction. That's 5 99s in 1 week.
Damn.
But of course, that had to be outdone by none other than an Iron Man. Tiki Mug got 6.
Damn.
He got 99 cooking, 99 crafting, 99 slayer, 99 attack, and 99 defense. Within like a minute of one another. I don't even know how you stacked up that many 99s, got that many lamps, but like all of them popped at once. And I was not online for it, but I've seen the screenshots. Because yeah, he said I almost got a 99 slayer with you. He really did it. Like it was like later that evening when I already hopped off. He sent the screenshots of like the CC when that was going on, and people were like, "What the? Where are these 99s coming from?" Because I was like 99, 99, 99, 99 throughout the. It was super cool to watch, or super cool to see afterwards. Because I did not unfortunately get to watch it because I was not online. But continuing on, so that might be a record. 6 99s in one go. That might be a record. Smoothie got 99 fletching. A lot of 99 fletching this week. A lot of people got 99 fletching. Iron Robin achieved 99 mage. A guy named Sparry achieved 99 mining, which thank God that's over for you. Ziggy's achieved 99 fishing. Cloudwin achieved 99 wizard, 99 mage. Raymer achieved 99 construction. Gowerly achieved 99 cooking and 99 hunter. Toilet, who I think is Toilet GG, achieved 99 range. The Lissy got their, I think, first 99 with 99 fishing. I think it was their first, though I'm not 100% sure. I might not be. It might not be their first. I don't know. Moving on from some of the 99s, right? Some of the 99s, because there's technically one more that we haven't announced, but I feel like the other achievement kind of supersedes the 99, but we'll talk about it. Evil on Olive achieved 2100 total level on I think their group Iron Man, which is, doesn't that group Iron Man have like 2 completed like corpse sigil shields? Yes. It's kind of gross, but like it's like an Ellie and an Arcane I think they have. Like it's wild. Yeah. So they've got Evil on Olive has 2100 total level. Parker J achieved 2200 total level. It's closing in on maxing.
Hell yeah.
But we don't have one person who maxed this week. We got 3.
What?
3 max capes in a week.
What?
First, this week, we had Evasive Ibu, who, when I say maxed on the down low, like I only learned this week that Ibu was in, like, not in the clan. I thought Evasive Ibu was in the clan the entire time, and his thing just like didn't pop up. No, he's not in the clan. I thought he was for all the time he has been on board for Patreon and listening to the show. I didn't even realize it. And he was like, all right, guys, it's finally time to max at this location. I was like at work and like dropped what I was doing to go like sit with him at the 99. It's like huge for him to get the 99. He lit the fire in the Canifis like swamp.
Oh, cool.
I've never seen anyone get 99 fire making that way. So he achieved his max cape this week. And then we have technically 2 max capes. They'll be maxed by the time this episode comes out. And I think I talked to at least one of them who wanted to be shouting out. So I'm shouting out both of them. Longtime TNL goers who have both been in the clan for a really damn long time. Mima and Prestige are both getting 2277 total level probably at the same time. I don't want to say exactly when because there's a plan to get it tonight, but you never know. But by the time this episode comes out, Mima and Prestige will have achieved 2277 total level. That is 3 people this week, folks, who have achieved a max cape. You can finally do it. You can finally play the game.
Hell yeah. Enjoy
yourselves again, folks. You are no longer locked to shitty content that you don't want to do to get the max cape. You get all the perks of one of the best capes in the game. You get the flex of it. It's fantastic. Now you can park yourself at the Inferno and just hate the rest of your life. I'm kidding. But no, seriously, congratulations. Like, it's got to feel good to play the game again and like not be forced to do bad skills. So very proud of all three of you for achieving your maximum skill cape this week.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know about
being
what?
Forced to do skills post max.
You brought that upon yourself, brother. Don't do that.
I love skilling.
We could take you to the infernal prison, my guy. We could make it happen. We could have the Xpwaster start atting you about your other cape. You could do it.
I don't need a +1 max hit to anything.
It's not it, Michael. How many times do I have to say it?
One more, apparently.
It's never been about the max hit.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the infernal cape for the max hit. It's never been about
the only reason I would
hit.
get it is because it's like significantly better than the thing I have. I don't care about the status of a slightly more burnt cape. And that is just who I am.
It's never been about the max hit. But you know what is about the max hit? Because the cape doesn't actually give you one. The max cape. And we're not going to take that away from three people who got their max capes this week. Ibu, Mima, Prestige, congratulations to all of you. Very proud of all three of you for finally getting it done. You know, long time coming. Congratulations. The other 99 we talked about was Mima got 99 crafting. But like, again, that's not as he got max capes, or it's not super, you know, it's noteworthy, but not as noteworthy as a max cape. Whatever. I stand by what I'm saying. If you achieve something awesome and you want to tell us about it, head over to our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post in the levels and achievements chat if you want to be shouted out for doing something cool on the podcast. If you don't care about being shouted out and you want to post anything literally anywhere else, we have a ton of channels where you could post literally anything else. If you want to discuss how much being an Iron Man hurts, we have an Iron Plaza channel. We have a channel dedicated to finding other people to do content. We have a Skillers Corner channel, just in case you need like, if you need advice on like different training methods, which you don't think would be used very often. It's used all the time.
It's one of my favorite channels.
We have that plus so much more in the Discord. Because again, we are what, Michael?
The best.
Objectively.
Unobjectively.
The best RuneScape Discord.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Indubitably.
Academy Award winning.
Oscar nominated. Gnome Child not receiving Discord.
Yeah, we've won every award except a goddamn golden gnome because Jack X refuses to acknowledge a podcast exists. But, you know, that ain't none of my business, as it were. But come join, come hang out. We really would love to have you in the Discord. Yeah, come do that and post about your stuff. So I believe this wraps up Achievement of the Week.
It does.
Which means, Michael,
we have a momentous occasion actually upon us. We have not 1, not 3, not 5, but 2 postcards.
Does it work going backwards?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's not 5, and I don't have 5, and I don't have 3. I have 2. I have 2 postcards that came in the mail this week, and we're gonna.
I don't know if it lands the same way, but I like it. Because we got 2.
2 weeks of content.
Okay.
We're not reading both. We're not going to read both today. We're not going to read both, but we will read this one that came in an envelope. There's a postcard inside, and I have not opened it. This is from Fizzle, and I blocked out your address there, Fizzle. So, anyway, I asked Oxie, I was like, should we open this? And this was like 2 nights ago. Like, nah, man, leave it for the podcast. So we're opening it live. You can hear it.
God, that's why would you put that against the microphone? That's just horrible. I'm leaving it in. Like, don't do that.
That is so cool. It's a custom postcard where the login is our Discord channel.
Oh, that's cool as hell. We're all horribly addicted, but we're not addicted alone. Oh my God. That's fantastic.
Okay, to save you guys from like my camera not focusing again,
we're just gonna put a screenshot.
I'm just gonna put a picture up.
That's cool as hell. Because there's so many cool Easter eggs in that as well.
I'll put a little screenshot of this. So many good things on Fizzle. This is amazing. I want to sit here and look at all this, but I can't. So I'm going to read the back completely. I haven't read this before. Okay, see here. Dear Michael and Oxie, you are an absolutely charming duo, and I feel so very fortunate that I stumbled upon the podcast. Both of your outward affability made
You put big words in, dog.
Okay. Both of your outward affability made joining the Xpwaste/TNL Discord easy, even for someone as socially awkward as myself. I never thought I would see the day that I go PKing, but Rot 2.0 is in fact infectious slash but Rot 2.0 is infectious. Drawing slash designing this map has been my personal non-Minecraft form of XP waste. GC Under 99 podcasting. Here's to you asking for recommendations first before making shitty cocktails again.
Don't do that. Come on now.
I legitimately...
It's not a Michael Oxie episode if we don't purposely make shitty
I told her, I'm
cocktails.
like, if we have the budget, Fizzle, we're going to fly you out for episode whatever we do. Because we gotta have something good. Thank you so much, Fizzle. This is amazing. There are so many good things on here. But we'll get to the fun question. All right. Fun question. What new biome would you add to the game? What kinds of monsters would live there? Before we get to the fun question, she says, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you're still somewhere in space. And finally, shout out to Samedian, because I know he loves getting attention.
No way she put that on the pod.
Shout out to Samedian because I know how much he loves attention. Anyway, thank you, Fizzle. What new biome would you add to the game, and what kinds of monsters would live there? That is amazing.
God. That's fantastic. It brings me great joy.
All right, then. Here we are. What new biome, Oxie, would you add to the game?
I'm between two of them right now. Do you have one, or do you want me to go first?
I don't have one. So go first.
So I'm between two. I'm between a swamp biome and a taiga biome. So taiga is like alpine forest-ish. Taiga is also the largest forest in the world that wraps around the whole northern hemisphere. It's so cool. Super cool. But no, I'm between swamp and taiga. We kind of have a little bit of swamp with the poison wastes, but that's not really swampy because, like, if you think about it, everyone thinks swamps are this like gross, desecrated place. Swamps are some of the most, ecologically speaking, lively places in the world. So many things live there. So many different varieties of plants, animals, birds, reptiles, bugs. So many things live in swamps that I think we've got a super cool potential to have something like that, you know, in the game. I think you could expand on the poison wastes a little bit, but frankly, I think a better place to put a swamp would probably be somewhere a little bit more forested. Like you're probably thinking the Lumbridge swamp, right? Let's expand that a little bit. Let's give it some graphical reworks. Or let's not touch it at all because people will throw an entire goddamn fit. You're probably thinking the swamp area of Mauritania, the Mortmire swamp, right? That's a good example. I'd like to see that expanded.
Okay. Can I pause real quick?
Oh, what's up?
What new biome would you like to add to the game?
Oh, what new biome?
New
right,
biome?
I did hear the question
You keep
correctly
saying
and forgot
swamp.
the Mortmire swamp existed. You don't even have an idea.
I do.
Off me. Fine then. I won't expand on the swamp idea because Michael's being a piss baby about it. Let's add the taiga biome to the game, which is an alpine forest, which I don't think we have an alpine forest specifically in the game, unless Piss Baby over here is going to find another one to go,
you're good.
I
like that,
sure
actually.
thing. Uh-huh. I don't know where we would put it. I think the best place you'd probably put a kind of like tundra taiga biome is probably somewhere around the Fremennik province. But there's also potential to expand like north of Zaya a little bit. Maybe not quite north of like the Wintertodd, but maybe north of like the Farming Guild. That could be super cool. Or maybe in Varlamore, it's all taiga. Maybe it's all alpine down there. I think the one thing I'd want to see in an alpine biome is like a deer boss. You know, like a mighty stag or something like that. That would be cool. That would just like run players over, kind of like the Nightmare's dash attack, but like also knocks them back several tiles. I don't know what you get from the boss as a reward, but I think there's potential for hunter expansions, for fishing expansions. I think there's potential for some new cool construction stuff up there. You add different like building types up there in the taiga biome where things look a little bit more like, you know, rustic-ish. Maybe there's an end game boss where there's like kind of like an eldritch horror kind of thing, you know. Maybe it's like kind of like North American God, what's the word I'm looking for? Like maybe like, I don't think cryptozoology is the right term, but like North American like forest spirits, you know. European forest spirits are like, oh, don't say your name to the fays or they'll take it. Ha ha. North American forest spirits are like, you're going to die no matter what. So maybe something like that. That's like super creepy. You have to fight or something. I don't know. Like, I think that'd be really cool because apparently my swamp idea can get f***ed, but the taiga biome, I think that'd be super cool. I'm also just like, I love that aesthetic, you know, like I said, snow on the trees, you know, a little bit of grass. The trees are mostly dead, but you can tell there's still things like living up and around in there. It's super cool, you know, maybe some nice water. I like it.
Cool. Yeah. I like it. I don't know. My only concept of like a biome, I know that there are actual biomes in like places in the world that have different characteristics, right? But like my only concept of a biome is Minecraft.
Yep, I knew it.
So
I knew it.
I'm gonna go with, I don't know, there's two. One is not in Minecraft, but like the terracotta desert, that type of color scheme, and like for me, I found out Mookite Jasper is one of my favorite types of stone / crystal because of the different like color variations that are in it. I think they could do a lot with the graphics with the terracotta desert. Now, I know what he's smirking right now. He's like, Michael,
I'm trying not to be toxic. I'm really trying not to be toxic.
What's a desert? There's a desert already in Minecraft.
I'm trying not to be toxic and say,
the question was, what new biome would you like to add?
I'm trying not to be toxic. I'm gonna let you cook. Finish.
I don't know. So I said that. He didn't let me finish. I said that because that was the only new biome. That was the only type of biome I could think of from Minecraft that I like. One that's not in Minecraft.
You want the mushroom biome? What's that?
The only other biome that I can think would be like a rainforest. Like you have all these rivers connecting and like different little islands and you could have, because like rainforest, you think bugs. You can have a bug boss that's not like Kefri. I don't know. I'm not suited to answer this question very well, unfortunately. I just got told to sit by Tiki. He said, so like the rocks east of Sophonim, they look reddish to me. Yes, Tiki, it does exist. But the rainforest. Now, are there crocodiles in the rainforest? I don't know. But a crocodile boss that's not like Zebek would be really cool. Because like, I need some clarification. Why are there crocodiles in the desert? Is that a thing?
Have you ever heard of the Nile crocodile, Michael?
No. Or am I thinking alligators? Because I think crocodile / alligator, and I think Florida, I'm like, that's not the desert.
Okay, that's an alligator. That's the American alligator.
Okay.
Caimans live in like more jungle-ish areas. Nile crocodiles live in, this is going to blow your mind, the River Nile in Egypt.
Which is the desert.
So,
Okay, gotcha.
the
Cool.
desert.
Cool. So, yeah, that's the rainforest biome. Sorry I'm not as clever as you'd like. I don't know. I feel bad for calling you out.
I'm not mad about it. I'm just mad that you called me out and like
couldn't back it up.
That was that like
what did you post Karamja?
Crazy we don't have any rainforest biomes in the games, boy.
Is Karamja a rainforest? Today I learned. I don't know what you would call Karamja. I don't know. It's a jungle. It's not a rainforest. The rainforest. Bugs but not Kefri, Crocs but not Zebek. That's exactly what it is. Zebek is not a crocodile. Anyway, thank you so much to Good Fizzle. Man, I wish you guys were in the recording booth right now because it's comedy gold. Anyway, maybe just posted a picture of Crocs, like the shoes.
Like the shoe.
Thank you, Fizzle, for the question. If you guys want to send us a fun question, you can do that a bunch of ways. But the way that we prefer is like this, in a postcard. So you can post it on our Discord. You can email us. You can DM one of us, probably me. Or you can send us a postcard to our P.O. Box. And the P.O. Box address is in the description. Oxie, that is it. I cooked all my anglerfish, every single one. I had like 3,000 of them, and they're all gone.
You know what the most disappointing part about this is the episode.
Did you not get 87?
I am, let me see here, 11.1k away.
No!
From 87. So they're not going to get it during the episode, but you know what? That's okay. It's motivation to go back to mining because you bet your whole ass I'm not going to keep doing this once this episode is done. But you know, we'll see. We'll get it done eventually. But yes, this is the end of the episode this week. It's quite the opinionated topic, the new skills. Yeah. Post some opinions about them in our Discord. It's all going to be linked below. Follow us on socials, all of them. Do all the YouTube things, like subscribe, algorithm pleasing, whatever you got to do. Follow us on TikTok before it gets banned. Who knows, man? That would be cool. Like, let's go out with a bang, I guess. You know, Xpwaste.shop is where we sell merch, just in case you want more of Xpwaste stuff that is outside of your ear holes, as Michael so lovingly calls them. Then we also have Patreon, just in case you think to yourself, hey, listening to these mumpties argue about skills that aren't in the game yet was so good I want to give them money. Patreon.com is the place to do that. You guys are fantastic. And this is where we're going to wrap this week's episode up. It's going to be a long one, which is exactly what we knew was going to happen because this is going to be a big episode. We got a lot to talk about. But yeah, with that, folks, we will see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.